All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Somebody just reached out to me earlier today and said, "Hey, Zach, did you see the way Owen Benjamin and Brian Young, a high impact flicks, now here's the deal, opened their debate?" And I said, "No." They said, "Check it out." So I had to look and I said, "Oh, okay, I see why they wanted me to see this." Well, we're going to watch that clip in a moment. But again, if you don't recognize these faces up here in the thumbnail, just to make sure you're familiar with all these people, they're widely recognized on social media. People would all say they're part of the truthosphere, if you will. But you have Owen Benjamin in the top left corner. He's known for playing the piano and calling black people the N-word. Seems to be his claim to fame, yet people love it. The guy in the middle, that is Brian Young of High Impact Flicks. Those two just recently had a debate. And more recently, his channel is Here's the Deal. In the top right corner, you have former satanic priest and now natural law teacher Mark Passio, who was proudly Jesuit educated. Then dropping back down to the left side in the middle, you have David Icke, of course. And to the right of the GematriaEffectNews logo, you have Alex Jones. And then down in the bottom left corner, you have Adam Green of No More News. The only interview he ever deleted in his history of interviewing people was the one of yours truly, and he deleted it the very next day after having the interview. And more recently, he did a debate on Jesuits or Jews in terms of who's running the world. And after watching that debate, I reached out, and he declined to have the same debate with yours truly. The person who debated him, needs to brush up on their debating skills. But Adam Green knew better than to debate yours truly. In the middle, you have An0maly. When we were out in Los Angeles last spring in April, a woman came out specifically to tell me that she wanted me to know that I live in An0maly's mind rent-free, and I'm one of his favorite things to talk about off the air, yet he'll never broach the subject of what I teach in his program ever. But if I ever go on his live stream and show up in his chat, I instantly trigger him every time. And then, of course, down the bottom right, you have Tim Pool, who began as Mr. Occupy, down with the system, and now he's Mr. Donald Trump Republican. So anyway, the reason all these faces are up here is because they're all relatively famous in the truth community. In all likelihood, they're probably all very well aware of what I've been putting out for over a decade. And yet they won't share it. And in the case of Owen Benjamin, who we're going to watch here in a moment, how he opened the debate with Brian, Owen Benjamin went out of his way to attack me back in 2019. And something happened to Owen Benjamin and myself on the Ides of March in 2019. He was deplatformed on YouTube, and my books were banned everywhere online. You could all of a sudden no longer buy my book anywhere online on the Ides of March 2019. Since then, I've put letters and numbers up on my own platform. But him and I both got smashed on the 74th day of the year. And yeah, I made a video at that time addressing why Owen Benjamin got deplatformed on that day and what it had to do with my censorship. And his response was to make fun of it, which seemed really dumb. Again, I wasn't being rude to him. And again, at that time, I already didn't care for him because I saw what he was about. I mean, if you ever watched Owen Benjamin, he just loves to call black people the N-word. I mean, he's pretty... Anyway, we'll ignore that. But yeah, I don't like Owen Benjamin. He's clearly a racist, and he also comes from the establishment. And anyway, all of these people up here, very aware of the work, but refuse to discuss it. And in the case of Mark Passio, you can say he does have a video on Gematria, but ironically, his video on Gematria isn't actually about Gematria, it's about numerology. So, anyhow, let's watch this opening debate, or the opening remarks of the debate between Owen and Brian. And yeah, Owen took an impossible position in this debate. And then here, let's just watch how this begins. Let me know if the audio is good when I start this. I'm going to put my eyes on the chat. You guys let me know if you can hear this. This was on Rumble, on Brian's Rumble channel, High Impact Flicks official Rumble channel. All right, let me know if the audio is good.
Give me a 5x5 if you can see us visually and you can hear us audio. Just put a 5x5 in the room. I really appreciate everybody being here. There's already 334 people watching.
Okay, 333. That's hilarious.
333.
Dude, have you noticed like Gematria does actually pop out a lot? Have you been noticing any of that, or is that just me being a little weird?
Honestly, I don't keep up with it. It's confusing to me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a simpleton.
Yeah, no, totally. It doesn't matter. It doesn't like say anything directly, so I just kind of ignore it. But like I had friends over yesterday and we're playing cards, and I literally had a pair of 9s and a pair of 11s, and I just started laughing. I mean,
do you think that holds substantial meaning? I'm not sure.
I have no idea, man. I really don't. It's like, did you see that back and forth between me and Bryson Gray on Twitter?
Somebody sent me a Spaces. Was there something beyond the Spaces that you guys had, which was like 30 minutes?
It was so funny. So he does some post, I don't know, about like, he's like, yo, I'm from a family or whatever. And I don't know why. I just felt the need to be like, but have you ever stolen a bike? And I don't do that. Like, if you look at my Twitter, I have thousands of tweets. I do the bike thief joke a lot, but I don't just like randomly write that to black dudes, And so we start going back and forth. And then the next day I'm live streaming and he starts acting extra nutty. Like he's like trolling the chat and all this. Cause I'm wearing a shirt that says, never forget. And it's my bike and it says May 24th, 1991. And because that's when my bike actually was stolen. It's like a long running gag. And one of my friends who actually happens to be black made me that shirt. And so he's going nuts. And then so I'm matching his animosity. We do a live, and halfway through I realize why he's so offended, like he's going so nuts. He's like, yo, why'd you have to wear that shirt with my birthday on it? And I'm like, wait, your birthday's May 24th? I'm like, my birthday's May 24th. I'm like, what year were you born? He goes, 1991. I go, bro, your birthday was the day my bike was stolen. He thought I made the shirt just to mess with him. And then we start dying laughing. And then like all the tension was just over and we just immediately became friends. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Well, what's even just to add another layer of hilarity to this, my youngest brother's birthday is on May 24th. So I thought that was all just a gas, man. It was hilarious. All right, so we got this thing going up on Rumble. Everybody's saying 5x5. You guys can hear. Let's see. I only see 2 people saying 5x5. You guys can hear us, right? Just wanted to make sure.
Okay, so just anyway, you have 2 people here who've both gone out of their way to attack me in the subject of Gematria in the past, and they just have to open up the conversation, which has nothing to do with what they're going to get to, just mentioning the word, and then also just in a way that's disingenuous because 333 viewers in the chat isn't Gematria. If anything, it's numerology. And then talking about getting a pair of 9s and a pair of 11s, that's numerology as well, or just number synchronicity. It's not Gematria. Gematria is the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. And then Brian did his typical thing that he's just such a little simpleton and he can't wrap his mind around Gematria. Again, if he was that much of a simpleton, he wouldn't be spending his days debating the legitimacy of government and discussing all of the intellectual subjects he does. Here, I'm going to go back to I made a video for Owen Benjamin when he got deplatformed, and I just showed him the synchronicity. Owen Benjamin got deplatformed for supposedly being anti-Semitic. Again, YouTube doesn't care how much he calls black people the N-word. They do care when he attacks his own family members. Again, Owen Benjamin is Jewish and does come from Hollywood, but supposedly that's what he got deplatformed for, was being anti-Semitic. And what I showed is we both got smashed on the 74th day of the year, and all the companies that took down my book also happen to be owned by Jewish men. But it happened on the 74th day of the year, right? And the word Jewish in Gematria is 74. And you can be all the simpleton in the world and understand this. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, up to Z is 26. When you add up the letters as numbers, Jewish is 74. My books that got banned were on Gematria, which is a Jewish practice historically, which also equals 74. Just like English does, just like occult, just like energy, just like holiday, which comes from holy day. There's some for Jesus, and just on and on and on. On 7/4, our nation's birthday, you had 3 of the first 5 presidents die. Holiday 74, like killing, there's the song Gematria, the killing name. Again, 3 of the first 5 presidents dead on 7/4. We got deplatformed on the Ides of March to remember the killing of Caesar, which happened in the year 44 BC, kills 44. Last year, we had the FedNow put out the memo that in the week of April 4th, they were going to begin, what's the word? I forget what the word is, but just essentially establishing the system for FedNow, which ended up going live in July. But they said the first week of April, again, they put it out on the Ides of March that they were going to begin certifying, I think certifying was the word they used, certifying the FedNow system. And then lo and behold, what happened on April 4th? You had Bob Lee, who created CashApp and Square, stabbed to death, right? On 4/4, after this memo on the Ides of March to remember the killing of Caesar. On that same day, you had a bicyclist in San Francisco, professional racer, ran over at age 44. Bob Lee was in his 44th year of life. They had to tell you that Bob Lee's killer lived in apartment 201, and then the FedNow system officially went live on the 201st day of the year. Anyhow, these things, even a simpleton can understand. I could go in a second grade classroom, explain this a little bit slower. They would get it. So for Brian to always do this game of like, oh, Gematria seems kind of silly, I don't know. It's just like, why do they even have to start the conversation this way, right? It just seems suspect. So again, just imagine if all of these people here on the screen in this thumbnail, who I can almost guarantee every last one of them is well aware of me and the work, had helped promote the message. You know, David Icke, for example. David Icke, the guy below him, Adam Green. Adam Green came out of nowhere in 2018, and instantly every major platform that's out there hosted him. David Icke had him on. Alex Jones had him on. You know, Owen Benjamin and Adam Green collaborate many times. Brian from High Impact Flicks and Adam Green collaborate many times. Again, you just see how this network of individuals, Mark Passio gets to go on InfoWars, right? And Mark Passio is definitely aware of who I am because him and I have spoke behind the scenes. There was another Mark who used to work for him and be a part of my community. He was very active in the sports decoding community, and he was one of the volunteers for Mark's weekly radio show. And the weirdest thing, when Mark Hamilton connected Mark Passio and I for a private discussion, it was just weeks later that supposedly Mark Hamilton committed suicide, which is just still the most bizarre thing to me. He was a great contributor to the community, and it just doesn't make any sense that he committed suicide. But that's the story, and that's what went in the papers. Anyhow, Mark Passio also took my call one time on his program, and funny enough, it was episode 201. At the very end, tail end, he took me, and I only got a couple minutes to speak before it went to the music at the end. But Mark Passio's had multiple people call into his shows. He has people in his chat always saying, to get me back on, have another conversation. In the past, he said, oh, yeah, I'll do that. But then he never does. And I've called into Mark's show so many times since that episode that he had me on, and he just lets me sit there in the back room and never takes the call. And if you ever listen to Mark's show, he always goes out to this caller named Ivan. It's just, if you listen to Mark, he hates the world. He thinks everyone's a retard, but then he'll always go to Ivan, who's not well-spoken, who doesn't seem very intelligent. But what he likes about Ivan is that, he pretty much gets on his knees and sucks off Mark every call. It's like, can you just admit that that's all you want, Mark? You just want your callers to suck you off? I mean, anyway, the point is, all of these people, relatively famous, they're all aware of the work. I don't know how anyone, you have to look at this for what it is. Is this not a network of shills? Is this not a network of bullshitters and people, that, like, out of this whole group of people up here, the one who I'll give the most respect to is the one in the top at the middle. It's Brian. But keep in mind, Brian's also on the record. Brian said that he would not debate me because he said I use ad hominem attacks. He says he won't converse with anyone who does ad hominem attacks. Look at the thumbnail that he used to promote his debate with Owen Benjamin after Owen Benjamin went off on a tirade calling Brian a pussy, a moron, and a retard. So Brian uses that as the marketing for the debate, and it's like, well, wait a minute. He's already gone on the record saying he won't debate me because I used ad hominem attacks against him. So you can just start to see the inconsistency of these people. And again, the guy down here in the sombrero, An0maly, him and Brian had a debate a few years back. It was in the time of COVID, and the big highlight of that was that Brian was making fun of people who wear COVID masks, but then was selling like 50 different variations of COVID masks on his store. So An0maly called him out on that. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to take down the COVID masks from my store. But yeah, all of these people up here, they all are aware of the knowledge and message, yet will not get it out. They will not talk about it. And again, I don't know anything that any of these people do, and I've watched them all plenty of times. I don't know anything that they do that proves how rigged the game is. Mark Passio wants people to understand that the occult controls the nation. Gematria is from Kabbalah, which is a key component of the occult. And yes, they'll go, well, Mark Passio has a presentation on Gematria. Have you watched his presentation on Gematria? It doesn't have any Gematria in it. It's missing the whole words into numbers part. It has a lot of numbers in it. It has numbers and numerology. It's a presentation on numerology. It's not a presentation on Gematria. He might have titled it Gematria, but there's literally no Gematria in it. How is it that all of the, well, you can take out Owen Benjamin away because people consider him part of the truth community, but he's never been a part of it. And his debate with Brian, he's taking the impossible position that government is, it's really disgusting to watch. Again, out of all these people up here, the reason I like Brian the most is because outside of his denouncing of my work and his disingenuous tactics to avoid a conversation or debate with me and the multiple videos he's done slandering me, trying to make me look bad. Outside of that, his core message and what he's about is something I agree with. He's talking about the illegitimacy of government, and Mark Passio does as well. It's just, I like old Mark Passio. I don't even know why Mark Passio is doing his radio show anymore. The first 40 minutes are the same thing. The same promotions every week, the 15 places to donate, and then him getting triggered as he's going about it, going on the same rant. It's like, dude, you look literally mentally ill these days, Mark Passio. You might as well just upload from your original presentations which were actually helpful to the world. But, yeah, Brian and Mark Passio, I would still say are the best up there because they talk about the illegitimacy of government, how these authorities are making the world a less safe place, diminishing the quality of life, and that's something I 1,000,000% agree with. Brian just had a debate, the one we just started to watch. I haven't watched all of it, but I've seen a good amount of it, and there's just not... Owen Benjamin. It's just like, who likes this guy? God, really dumb people exist in this world. This guy'd have no following if there weren't morons and racists out there. And I hate how he always has to bring up that he's funny and a comedian. If you were funny and a comedian, people would laugh. An0maly does that too. He always has to brag about how funny he is. It's like, neither of you guys are funny. I've never laughed once at anything either of you said. But anyhow, Brian and Mark, their core message is correct. It's just Mark Passio's lost his mind. David Icke, the things he talks about, it's fine and dandy, but do we really have to blame it on the reptilians, the lizard people? Where's the evidence of that? Why can't we talk about the things that do exist? Like how the founders of this country were worried about what would happen if the Jesuits came out of suppression. When I say the founders, I mean some of the founders, like Jefferson and Adams, who penned letters about it and who died together on the same day, July 4th, 1826. And to come back to these guys' opening remarks here where they're joking about May 24th, that's the 144th day of the year. And Brian, who says he cannot understand Gematria, look, you can probably understand this. Jesuit orders 144. Donald Trump is Jesuit educated. When he first became president, what day did he pose with the Jesuit Pope at the Vatican? He did it on May 24th, 2017, the 144th day of the year. When Jesuit Georgetown simulated the 2020 election before it happened, simulating that Biden would narrowly win and Trump would refuse to step down, leading to deadly violence in America, what day did they do that? They did that June 12th, 2020, the Transition Integrity Project, 144 days before the election. Like Trump, Biden is Jesuit educated, and Biden's also from the Jesuit town of Scranton, Pennsylvania. President Biden's 144. That simulation just happened to be 144 days before the election. When the Jesuits came out of suppression, how many days was it after James Madison's birthday, who was the president at the time? Well, funny enough, it was 144 days later. And of course, there are other ciphers which are also simple, and when you use numerology, the United States of America is 144. A nation that was founded after the establishment of the Jesuits. A nation that's capital began in Philadelphia before it was moved to the Jesuit stronghold of Georgetown, D.C. So, again, I just get tired of Brian always playing this game of like, oh, I'm just such a simpleton and I can't wrap my mind around this subject. Bullshit. And then here, Brian, your excuse of you won't have the conversation with me because I use ad hominems. Now where does that argument hold up? Again, Brian had an audience of 500,000 people and was getting good views before he got censored. He could have helped get this out a long time ago. Instead, he chose to bring on white supremacist, Jew hater Adam Green 1,000 times. And the reason I say Adam Green's a white supremacist is because if you ever watched him, he also has to make snarky remarks about black people. You can tell he doesn't like black guys. And so it's like, okay, so you'll work with clear racist Owen Benjamin. You'll work with racist Jew hater Adam Green. You'll debate An0maly, who also called you names and made fun of your appearance. I mean, but you won't bring me on? Okay, Owen Benjamin. How does Owen... Okay, I can understand debating Owen Benjamin to show the difference in realities. That's fine. I guess Brian, at the end of the day, blames everything on Zionist bankers, too. So I suppose that's where the Adam Green piece fits in, because it jives with his message. An0maly? An0maly believes in the political system. An0maly got famous because he has a rap song called "I Like Trump," and he rode the 2016 Trump wave. And now he's so proud of himself because he realizes Trump's not a good politician, but he thinks I think these days he's on the Thomas Massey wagon. He hasn't figured out to get on that level. You got to be in the club. You don't get there unless you are. And they got to have their good cops in the Congress to keep people believing. You know, they've had to have the Ron Pauls and the Bernie Sanders and the Dennis Kuciniches and the Cynthia McKinneys and these types of people over the year. But at the end of the day, they're all in the club on some level. And then again, Alex Jones. You know, Alex Jones, who has Passio on, Adam Green, David Icke. He's probably had Owen Benjamin on. I really don't pay... I try not to pay any attention to Owen Benjamin. I just I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people. People love mediocrity, so... Owen Benjamin's mediocre in every single way there is. And then Tim Pool. I mean, it's like, who's following Tim Pool? I mean, talk about Mr. Boring. Talk about a guy who's just, I mean, should be irrelevant. If you came up as anti-establishment, and that's how you got famous, and now you're lobbying for the Republican Party, I mean, you can't see that's a sellout? God. So, yeah, it's just so frustrating because, again, let me know where I'm wrong. Where do any of these guys show anything ever that is as concrete and accurate and teachable as what I'm demonstrating every single day about how the federal government truly operates? From the rigged selections, to the war games, to just the latest contrived controversies, to why this politician's in focus on this day, while it's this legal matter this day, while this federal court did this day, why this person got removed from the ballot this day, you know, to why January 6th is happening the day it's happening. Remember how synced that was with the Albert Pike statue coming down, the only Confederate statue, and how that was synced with, you know, the George Floyd thing, which happened on Memorial Day, which came out of the Civil War, and how they're trying to contrive this new Civil War, and how it was all about 201 for all those rituals, and how Hollywood's putting out the new Civil War trailer, for Alex Garland's film 201 Days After His Birthday, and on and on and on. Like, in what world are these things hard to understand when you begin to know what 201 means, where it comes from in Hebrew Gematria, and what it has to do with light, and why the Jesuits have taken on that number, and the Illuminati, and why the first Jesuit pope's living in Suite 201, and why his favorite football player, Messi the Messiah, is staying separate from the team in Suite 201, and then Argentina's winning the World Cup the day after the Pope's 86th birthday, their first World Cup since 86, and how it's synced with Diego Maradona's death. I mean, all of this stuff is so elementary. And again, it's just this knowledge that shows what the New World Order is, what the Cabal is, what the Illuminati is. Mark Passio's harping on about this stuff every day, but then won't share this piece with his audience. Alex Jones is about the New World Order, but then won't share this with his audience. I mean, Tim Pool's audience, maybe they wouldn't get it because you got to be brain dead in the first place to even listen to Tim Pool. But then again, Tim Pool's a co-host. He has some pretty interesting people on there. It was probably a year ago now. Somebody sent the clip to me. They're like, look at what the long-haired guy on the Tim Pool panel brought up. He brought up Gematria. And for a second, I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like, why didn't someone be like, you know who we got to get on here? We got to get on here. Zachary K. Hubbard, man. The algorithm, the big text, they've really destroyed what he had going. He was growing big time back in 2016, 2017, getting big views. Man, they've really destroyed him with all the deletions and burial. Of course, these things don't happen because these people just want the YouTube revenue. I mean, I bet if Tim Pool brought me on, I bet the $1 million he makes a month off YouTube ad revenue, I bet that would go down overnight to close to $0, like what we bring home over here. But, yeah, again, you know, speaking about what's going on in the world isn't supposed to be for a payout and a dollar value and for a financial reward. It's supposed to be speaking out. You're doing that in the name of justice, in the name of stopping tyranny, in the name of stopping the next needless war, which has been building by the numbers in Israel, as we called out dead on the day Netanyahu came back. Again, that was all about 201. You would think somebody would be like, damn, we got to get Zachary K. Hubbard on. He's nailed so many things in you know, the decade he's been here, but you can't get any of these people to talk about it. Other than the way they just started their debate with by throwing the word out there as two guys who both dissed the subject and then talking about a way that's disingenuous and not even correct. The realist says, why is 17 and 77 all over the news, media, and videos? Again, my best guess, modern Freemasonry began in the year 1717. Mason equals 17. Secret Society equals 77, like United States. Again, this nation was created 59 years after 1717. 59 is the 17th prime. The House of the Temple in D.C. is at the address 1733. Mason equals 17. Masonry 33. So those would be my thoughts about 17 and 77. My mic's too loud? I must just be talking too loud. I have it on the auto adjust setting. It shouldn't be so bad. I'll try to talk less loudly. Okay. Let's take some calls. How do we let's try and get one of these people in the next month to address this subject. You know who I want to target the most is Brian, because like I said, if there was anybody who I'd like to be on a stage with speaking at this day and age, I would like for Brian and I to get along and work together. And by the way, about Brian was going to bring on RPM Trey to promote his Hug an AR owner campaign. And what RPM Trey told Brian is he said, well, when I come on there, I also want to talk about Zachary K. Hubbard's work in Gematria. And then Brian just cut him off and didn't bring him on. and again, Brian was paying attention fully to what we did in Oklahoma City on April 19th, 2022. He had a video up within 15 minutes of me being escorted off the grounds of the memorial as soon as I set foot on it. See, that's what bothers me. There's a lot of people watching what I'm doing. That blew me away, that when I got to Oklahoma City, a place I'd never been to before, as soon as I tried to approach the museum, the security was waiting for me. And I wasn't doing anything when I got there. I wasn't streaming, video recording. I was planning to go in there and pay the fee and take the museum tour and see if I learned anything new. But I couldn't even get through the doors before I had 3 guards with hands on shoving me around. Brian was watching that and had a video up on it, like literally within 15 minutes of it happening. And this is the same guy who said he couldn't show up for the event, but he just wanted to watch through the YouTube screen in his own home state of Oklahoma. And then, more recently when I got back from New York, one of his other associates, Paul whatever, tried to start a little beef with me. And it was just like unprovoked. But anyway, then Brian captured that and then uploaded a video on that. He's like, look at who the real Zachary K. Hubbard is. It's like, okay. So I was like just talking to a guy, and then he started talking shit to me, and I put up with it for about 5 minutes before I went off on him. To me, that's just a real individual. I don't know 2 men who one guy comes at another guy and just talks to him with no aggression, and then the other guy just starts talking shit unprovoked, and then puts up with it for 5 minutes. Then I'm the bad guy for firing back after just getting fed up. God, I mean, it's just, you can just see just how bullshit it is. We all know that Brian in the past said he would not debate me because I use ad hominem attacks. But then you'll go on Owen Benjamin's platform, and we see what the game is. He'll go on all these people's platforms who have big followings. And, had YouTube not destroyed me, I'd have a pretty damn big following by now. I mean, I've had to grow my channel to nearly 100,000 subs 2 times just to get deleted, and then there's been countless other times where we were over 50,000 subs and got deleted. I mean, it's hard to grow your channel. And they've never once let me hit 100K. If you've ever watched what happens to YouTube channels once they hit the 100K mark, they grow so much faster in the algorithm. It's like, it might have taken you years to hit 100K, but then in no time you're up to 200K and beyond. And yeah, it's just like, anyway, these people right here, all the viewership they have, if they really wanted to change the world and get people to see what's going on and how rigged the game is, they'd be putting out this knowledge. But yeah, I say let's target Brian. Let's get Brian first to talk about things, because maybe we can. I mean, what's Brian going to fall back on now? How's he gonna come out and say, oh, I'm not going to have the discussion because ad hominems? Nope, sorry, you just promoted a debate through the ad hominem attacks Owen Benjamin came at you with. If you really think this subject's above your head, then you should bring me on to help you guide your way through it and see its relevance. I mean, how can you want to sit here and talk about how illegitimate the federal government is and not share this information? I mean, who's doing a better job literally for the last decade of showing how illegitimate and rigged the system is? Is somebody out there doing a better job? Is someone bringing more facts to the table? Is someone more consistent? Let me know. Let me know. Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper, funny enough, born on May 6th, killed on, remember the 5th of November, at least so we're told, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Again, Bill Cooper was who really called 9/11 before it happened. And then Alex Jones copied Bill Cooper's prediction. And Bill Cooper also said Alex Jones was a total fraud. For people who don't know that, go back and listen to what Bill Cooper said about Alex Jones. But yeah, just like all things, I have Bill Cooper's book back there, Behold a Pale Horse. All things good and bad. He got really into the whole alien thing. And to me, that looks like another psyop by the numbers. But yeah, I think Bill Cooper is one of the people in the world who helped raise a lot of awareness, just like Jordan Maxwell. And Jordan Maxwell, I mean, he's another bummer to me. R.I.P. to Jordan Maxwell and Bill Cooper. Jordan Maxwell passed more recently. But Jordan Maxwell had a thing to sign up to interview him, and it seemed like he would do interviews with people who didn't even have a following. He'd go on a channel that had 100 subscribers and got 10 views. But I don't know. I don't know if the list was 1,000,000 miles long, but I signed up on that list multiple times in many years before he died, and he never reached out to me, and I just thought, I don't know. I guess somehow, some way, this work never crossed his plate. Either that, or I also did hear Jordan Maxwell say multiple times in interviews at the end of his life that he did fear for his life, and there were certain subjects he just wasn't going to broach because he'd been threatened. So maybe that's also the reason we never made contact. But okay, I'm tempted to watch some more of the debate. What do you got? Let me put it up to the chat. Do you guys want to watch some of the Owen Benjamin Brian Young debate? I just saw even like today. Here's Brian's latest post on his Twitter. He's trying to beef with An0maly again. And again, I had the woman come out in April to let me know that An0maly is so focused on what I'm doing, but won't talk about it on his own show. She's like, I just really want you to know that these people are watching. They're just scared to talk about your subject. It's just like, and the thing about An0maly is he might be doing well on other platforms, but YouTube, he's like in the same algorithm loop as I am. He's not having much success on the tube, so. Brian got his success back just going back to cop watching videos. So what do you guys think? Should we watch some of the debate or take some calls? Yeah, I can't stand Owen Benjamin, man. It's like I don't know people. I think if that guy didn't have the connection through Hollywood and some level of fame, appearing in some sitcoms and movies and whatnot, I don't think anybody would watch him. An0maly was on Fox News, is that right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about Bill Cooper and Jordan Maxwell. They're ahead of their times, right? I mean, like way before I heard of Gematria, I heard both their names. And between the two of them, the one thing that always really stuck with me was when I found Jordan Maxwell's thing about the assassinations of Lincoln and Kennedy. Like that blew my mind at the time. I was like, wait a minute, is it all like rehearsed? Is it scripted? Is it paying tribute to history? And if you guys haven't read my book, Letters and Numbers, I add on to the Jordan Maxwell thing and just show additional parallels plus what the Gematria reveals. It's just like Lincoln being shot on 14/4 and Kennedy dying 144 days from his meeting with the Pope, and RFK being reported dead at 1:44 a.m. And this year, RFK Jr. getting in the race 144 days after the Superior General's birthday, the leader of the Jesuit order. Brian Young, in what world can you not understand how simple this is? Just the 144s all throughout history, the Jesuit fingerprints all over it. I mean, come on. The Kennedys, went to Jesuit prep schools. RFK Jr. went to Georgetown prep when he had his anti-mandate rally, which I was all for. I mean, the whole idea of that I totally support, but he just had to have it on Georgetown's birthday of all days. I mean, come on. Is stolen bicycle 144 to go with the 144th day of the year? Yeah, these guys could, I just got to check with my own eyes. These guys could be clowning. Wow, that is wild. That is wild. And you know what else is funny? If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Brian Young is also 144. But, some things could be a coincidence. There is an organic side to the code. So. All right, open the phone line. I'm seeing more people say take calls than watch the debate. I really wish Brian would have come out in 2022, like we asked him to a million times, and brought his gathering out there. I mean, we could have had who knows? We could have got the news media out there if we had enough people. We had to have the cops come out there and threaten me right away. They said I'd be arrested if I got on the megaphone for disturbing the peace. What's up, 347?
Yeah, can you look up this article? They just posted 4 hours ago on Fadeaway World. Can you look it up, please? It says the headline is LeBron James on Lakers legend Kobe Bryant game, right? In quotations, it has he didn't have any flaws, which equals 201. I just want you to see it for yourself. This is amazing.
Okay, I see it here. He didn't have any flaws as 201. Again, for Bill to know, Kobe's death had a lot to do. He didn't have any flaws. Yeah, flaws. 201. Yeah. And Kobe died 201 days from Magic Johnson's birthday. And then where did the Lakers win the finals later that year? In the NBA bubble in Orlando where the Magic play. And Kobe's death was synced with Shaq and everybody. Kobe died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age. And then they won the finals. The Lakers did 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday on Father-Daughter Day. Kobe got buried in Corona del Mar, involved in the pharmaceutical lawsuit, and then the pandemic was declared 201 days after his last birthday. And on his last birthday, Angel Has Fallen came out. And think about it, the City of Angels, his helicopter fell out of the sky. So, yeah, I see it.
Joanne Muller Bus equals 201 too. Joanne Bus, her maiden name. Joanne Muller Bus equals 201.
I see. Okay. Yeah. And they had to put this up on February 6th, right? This story's on 2/6, like Brian equals 26, like how he died on the 26th day of the year on the anniversary of Bear Bryant. And then for Brian out there who gets confused, if you just run the alphabetical order in verse, Bryant's 37, like he died on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant. Anyway.
Yeah, the Lakers just beat the Hornets 201 days after Kobe's birthday.
And AD and LeBron scored 26 in the game last night. So.
The 201 show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zach. Thank you so much.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. You guys should have been out there in New York when he came out. He's a comedian. Every day he wore a different Jesuit college sweatshirt out there. At first I couldn't figure. I was like, is this guy here to fuck with me? And I was like, no, never mind. He's just having a good time. So I think he came out in the Fordham sweatshirt the first day, and then, what was it, Georgetown the next day, and I can't remember now. All right. What do you guys think? Do we need to get on these other people's platforms and see if we can get them to start helping get out the word? Because I can't do it here on my little censored space. It's hard for me to even get 5,000 views on a video these days. That's just not cutting it. Brian's getting some good views again. Brian doesn't want to do anything besides cop watching videos because he wants to keep that YouTube An0maly coming in. But maybe we can remind Brian, it's got to be more than just the ad revenue. The tyrants are clamping down. No caller ID.
Hey, so, like, it just sounds like you're being a hater for these guys.
So how's that?
Why both of them?
What's that?
I think you're jealous of them. Like, why are you bringing them up?
Well, I think I'm making the point why. Why do you think Brian and High Impact Flicks started with kind of a little joke about Gematria for their debate?
Benjamin likes, I like Owen Benjamin.
That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask if you like him. I said, why do you think they started with a joke about the subject when these are two people who've made videos personally attacking me in the past?
Because of the bike thing, like he had that synchronicity with the stolen bicycle, and the guy wearing his shirt because he was bringing that up. And
what did that have to do with their subject? Their subject was about the legitimacy of government.
It doesn't have anything to do about it.
Right. So doesn't it seem like an odd thing to start the show with?
It was on his mind when because they were having a conversation beforehand.
Okay, so again, to answer your question, the reason I'm doing this video is, like I said, these people all still have pretty good audiences, and they could all really help get out the message I'm putting out. Here, I'll ask you this. What do these people, I have 8 different faces up here. How do any of these 8 people do a better job of exposing the illegitimacy of government? Well, we'll exclude Owen Benjamin because he's actually arguing for government. But the other ones are all counter-authority. The other 7 faces up there are all against the government and authority. Well, actually, let's take Tim Pool out of it, too, because he's actually for the Republican Party these days. He used to be against government. But so the other 6 out there, how are they doing a better job of showing the illegitimacy of government?
So I only really know Alex Jones and Owen Benjamin. The other guys, like I kind of cursory know them. But so Owen Benjamin, although he's arguing for the position of government, he's arguing that in the vacuum, it's going to be filled by whatever cartel or gang was in. There's always going to be a government. I used to be an anarcho-capitalist as well, but it is nonsense at the same time. I understand the principle.
Okay. I did hear Owen Benjamin make the argument that without government, you'd be ruled over by essentially a drug cartel, just like how you see in other countries where the cartel's more powerful than the government. Now, personally, I wouldn't mind living in a country where my ruling authority was the cartel, because the type of person I am, I think it would be easier for me to motivate people who didn't like that kind of authority to band together and fight back. And I think eventually it would happen. And I think that you could see an organization of actually citizenry work together and network and overthrow that type of tyranny. The tyranny that we're under, we have to go to their school system and we have to learn how great they are and how they're the greatest thing that made us the freest thing ever. And that's the mind control people are under, so then they don't do anything about it. So I'd rather live under the rule of the cartel. It might be more dangerous, but I feel like then it would be easier for me to motivate my fellow citizenry to do something about it. And would it be more dangerous? That's fine. People should see that I'm not someone who's afraid of bad things coming into my life. I'm not afraid of dying. I've been living under death threats for the last decade. I've been harassed. I've had cars crash through my house. I don't think any of these people on here have had to put up with jack shit in the last decade. Alex Jones' fake trial about Sandy Hook, that's all bullshit. I don't think any of these people have had a car crashing through their house, weirdos coming to their house, their doorstep, weird stuff in the mail, FBI coming to their house. I don't think any of these people had to deal with that. So I'm just telling people, I don't want people to question what I'm saying right now. But again, the question is, how are any of these people demonstrating the illegitimacy of our government? I'm not asking for you to make Owen Benjamin's argument about, well, if we didn't have our government, we might be ruled over by another type of tyranny. I don't disagree with that.
Okay. So like you don't know anything about Owen then, because within Owen's community, he's actually done what you say you're aspiring to do. He bought land in Idaho, acres and acres of land. He has a whole group of people that socialize together.
Who? Him and his wife and his kids?
Owen Benjamin.
Him and his wife and his kids, I see in his videos with the goats. I like that he's out living on the land growing food. That's great. But is there really some kind of network and uprising coming from what Owen's doing? And who's he uprising against? He just did a video arguing about why the U.S. government's keeping us so safe and sound and making life so great.
He's not gonna. So you're never gonna overthrow the system, Zach. It's not gonna happen. So what you're gonna do?
How do you know that? Wait a minute. You just made a statement that you can't back up. The system's been overthrown before.
Well, you can try to, but it's gonna require you're gonna have to be such an alpha male that you're gonna have to lead you're gonna be so organized. So what he's doing is within the system, just like the Amish have done. You just create your own society within the system and try to not rely on it. So that's what he's doing. He's built an app called the Gematria Times app. All the I've been on it before. Tons of people are all networking and they're growing food. They know where each other's houses are. They get together. They train with guns.
So tons of people means so there's thousands of that. So hold on, there's thousands and thousands of people doing this.
At least 1,000, I'd say for sure.
At least 1,000. Okay, I'm going to look into it and see if that's true because I heard somebody say it's a total scam and he's done nothing but collect a lot of money.
That's not a scam. Just like when you have so-called trolls that people listen to, right? You're listening to them, so you're not giving them a chance. And also,
well, here's what I know about Owen Benjamin. Owen Benjamin's a racist. He likes to call black people the N-word. That's like every time I tuned into his broadcast, when people kept telling me I need to check it out, that's like I'd listen for 10 minutes. I'm like, man, he's already called black people the N-word 15 times. I've only been listening for 10 minutes. And it was the same thing every time I turned in. I mean, it's just like, I just felt like that's what his broadcast was about. I was like, is that why he really gets on here just to call black people the N-word? How many black people are in his community? I know you just said he's in Idaho, which is... So Idaho's known for skinheads in the Aryan Nation. It is known for white supremacy. So I'm starting to think about this. I'm like, I wonder if his network's a bunch of white supremacists. Maybe that's why he went to Idaho.
Yeah, but he also has black bears as well. He has different races that follow him. He just doesn't... He doesn't say that just because you call him...
He must have some self-loathing... He must have some self-loathing black people if they're following him. Amazing.
If you're gonna follow your same line of thinking, then sports Gematria, when you call you a racist, then you got to follow that too.
No, because that's edited and crap taken out of context. You know.
Okay, so if you say the N-word, if you're a white person, or you just make a joke with the...
That's not what Owen Benjamin did. Owen Benjamin wasn't making jokes. He's just throwing the word around. Okay.
So that makes you racist?
When you're calling black people the N-word? Like unprovoked for no reason, just doing it over and over and over and excessively?
He's doing it for a joke. You don't watch him, obviously. You don't watch
No,
him.
it wasn't a joke and it wasn't funny. So the guy can play the piano. I'll give him that. He can play the piano. Well, here's what I know. All the troll network calls in from No Caller ID. So here you are from No Caller ID, essentially supporting an online troll. And you are pointing out that he set up this network in Idaho, which is known for white supremacy. So I'm starting to put it all together here.
Okay, well, I'm no caller IDing you because I've seen you dox people at Sports Gematria.
I've never doxed anybody. So now you're just lying. All right, adios. No, I could dox people, but I have not doxed anybody. You can't find me doxing anyone. You can find a lot of people doxing me. You can find that troll that you keep mentioning doxing me and putting out like the address of where I live and all that. That's what he does. Okay. So what do you think? Who on here should we go after to try and get him to broach the subject of what we're putting out every day that the world really does need to know about? Every English-speaking person in the world should be aware of this information. And then if they can choose if they will to just dismiss it all as coincidence, as so many people do. Oh, we have another no caller ID. Let me see if it's the same guy. No caller ID.
Hey, you're racist too. Why haven't you married May?
Well, how do you know what we've done? How do you know what we've done? Well, first of all, that didn't make any sense. You're a racist. Why haven't you married? But hold on. Do you know what our relationship status is?
Why haven't you had a kid with her?
Wait, what does that have to do with racism? Oh, he hung up. Oh, that was a good argument. Oh man. Exactly. It's like, does that even make sense? So I'm with somebody who's not white. So I'm racist? I mean, in what world? In what world? Come on. You know, if Mark Passio and I were having a conversation, we're mostly on the same page about everything. I guess the debate could be, him and I both have egos. He always says how his message is always the most important, the best, the most profound. It's way above everybody else's. It's like, I'm not sure that's the case, Mark. I'm pretty sure that's why you bring on Ivan every week to suck your dick instead of answering my call. I think Mark might know that there's other people's message out there that's a lot more profound and sheds a lot more light on what's going on. And again, Mark's Jesuit education, his history of being a priest in the Satanic Church. Mark Passio, let's have a conversation about An0maly's death 201 days from his own birthday and 201 days from the Pope's. Let's talk about it. Is it just a coincidence? Is it synchromysticism, Mark? If you guys missed when I went on Mark's show, Mark did only take my call in episode 201. Only time he ever took the call. It's a long time ago. It's 2018. But that's how he kind of brushed off as like, really what you're talking about is synchromysticism. This is just the way the universe works. Like, yeah, I think we see that that's not just how it works when you watch the sports games. Otherwise, the refs wouldn't have to be out there with the bullshit-ass calls. Oh, no. So, for the person in the chat saying, why ignore the septenary cipher? I don't. Why do you ignore what I've taught? I have a book out there, Letters and Numbers, and I talk about the significance of that cipher. I just keep things to the 4 base ciphers these days because it's a simple way and it's an effective way to teach the knowledge. 716?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hey, Jeff. I'm a big fan of your work. I learned the Kabbalah growing up, and this is the type of shit you really got to keep secret normally. That's not a thing to you. I really like what you're doing. These people like Alex Jones and all these fucking controlled opposition people, they get people riled up about all this stupid shit and civil war and selling people like Alex Jones talking vitamins and crap, but you're consistently putting out shit where it's fucking You know what I mean? It's clear. It's very deterministic. Kabbalah is a very certain thing, especially compared to other magical practices. So while a lot of people point fingers and speculate, you're out here showing the numbers, showing the code. And I just wanted to say I fucking respect what you're doing. Fuck all the haters. Fuck all the trolls. Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people rely on their rhetoric and their opinions and the news and like talking about the news like it's real to form their basis of their argument. What we're showing is how there's this knowledge that's existed since forever, and it's very clear that in the 16th century, in the century of the Jesuits, it was synced up with the calendar, and it's being used as a system, especially by our government, where literally you can see its use day after day. 267.
Zach, what's going on, man? It's G Moody.
Yeah, what's up?
Not much, man. I wanted to say appreciate that little excerpt you did on me a while ago. My cousin Larry Kudner, and still a supporter, man. It's been some years. It's amazing. Everybody's still kind of asleep, but I'm telling you, man, your dry humor kills me sometimes. You should try to like make a comedy, a little excerpt, maybe one or two, just when you're trolling the shit out of all these people out here. It's pretty good.
Well, it's like Sweet Lady said to me the other day. She's like, you got to be careful with your words. You were making fun of the Trailer Park Trio, and then look at what the news story was. She heard me in the other room, and she's like, look, the news is now that a plane crashed into a trailer park in Florida where you said the Trailer Park Trio lives. I was like, I know, that is weird as hell. So, I don't know. I don't want to be a mean person. I just want people to, get behind what we're saying and do something about this corrupt system. But yeah, maybe that is the way to reach them. Maybe I should try and write some comedy sketches. If people can think Owen Benjamin's funny and he can get to the top this way, maybe that is the avenue. Because I don't know if you ever watched Owen Benjamin, but I don't think he's the least bit funny.
Nah, I've never seen him before.
Yeah, he's a racist who plays the piano.
Let you know I'm still supporting, man. Keep up the hard work, man. It's amazing how you continue to do this shit every day. And I don't know anybody that's done anything every day for more than 2 years or 3 years. So.
Well, I'm very stubborn. Well, you know what? I'd take some time off if this work had done what it's supposed to do. It's like, okay, it still hasn't done it. I better come back and work some more tomorrow. So, I mean, that's the mentality over here.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you.
No doubt.
All right. Take care. I didn't switch over quick enough for 905. You're going to have to call back. All right. Let me do something about this glare. This glare's over the top. All right. That's better. 905.
Hi, Zach.
Hello.
I'm just watching now, and I noticed that, it's kind of a negative vibe on here. And I don't know if you realize, like, you're wanting all this fame, whatever, but it comes at a price. So I think maybe these people have reached a certain milestone on their channels, and once you get there, you have to do something maybe you don't want to do so that you can get higher. So, you're spreading the word to a lot of people. The numbers are probably bullshit. So maybe you're reaching more people than you think you are. And, you're looking at numbers that are fooling you.
That's possible. I still, you know what? This is my message to all the sellouts, if that's true. You sold out.
Absolutely.
Now correct it. Do the right thing and get the message out there. You know what? I mean, if Brian can talk about me in a negative light and even mention actually when Brian rips on me, he tries not to mention my name, but it's obvious who he's talking about. I feel like if he can even...
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I still think it's risky for you. Do you want to take that next step like they did? Perhaps you can't back out.
I feel like you could always back out. There might be consequences, but I feel like anybody every day has the ability to make the right choice, even if it brings consequences into their life. And I feel like that's what everybody should do. Owen Benjamin always talks about what a big alpha male he is. A real alpha male would do the right thing and wouldn't be afraid of whatever consequences were raining down. They think I'm gonna defend myself from these consequences regardless.
I agree, and I admire that. I think that you should protect yourself, however.
Well, I'm pretty well protected, but once again, kind of my house, they'll probably leave in pieces. So, those 3.5-inch shells are hard to come by these days, but I got a whole stockpile of them, so.
Oh, I don't mean that. I mean just, your spiritual protection.
Well, I feel like I'm protected in that way too, so.
Good. Well, then, all for it. But, I just feel like some of these people, maybe they started out with good intentions and then it goes backwards.
Yeah.
And I just, I want you to be careful. You've taught me a lot and I appreciate it so much. I feel really stupid for what I used to believe and I am grateful. Like, you have no idea. So I just don't want anything bad to happen to you. You see all the celebrities and how they're always putting up the signals and all this shit.
Here's just what I gotta say back. I understand everything you're saying. You're essentially coming with the sweet lady sentiment. She's just worried about the consequences down the road, and it's why she's just. I feel really bad that I'm not on my way down to LA right now and then head over to the Super Bowl to wake more people up. But I just can't shake it with sweet lady right now. She's just all kinds of concerned and worried and doesn't see the advantage of traveling since it hasn't brought any real success to the work, just more censorship. But again, the thing is, this is what I know about this world. Here, I have to make this point. The thing that I know about this world is to make progress, to make change happen, to make your own reality better, you almost always have to take risks. I had to take a big risk back in 2012 when I quit my teaching job to start a business. And had I not taken that big risk, it probably, it wasn't, I didn't realize I was going to end up doing this in a year's time or so. That wasn't part of the picture at the time. But had I not taken that step, it wouldn't have enabled me to do what I'm now doing. And sometimes you have to take a big loss too before you get the gains down the road. So again, if we keep living in fear and worried about what's going to happen, the real fear and the real concern is, what if the world keeps moving in the direction it's moving right now, where you have less and less rights and liberties, there's more and more surveillance, there's more and more authoritarianism. Can't you see the future where it's the next pandemic and now they got to make sure your medical records are inside your body so that there can't be anybody who said they got a jab and got signed off on a card but they really didn't get one? They need it all on a surveillance video that's implanted in a chip in your skin that can be read. Oh yeah, there was that person getting that's where we're going.
They act like Elon Musk just invented the first brain chip. It's hilarious. He's not the first guy to ever do it.
Like I said, when I was in college, they were talking about this future with brain chips where you'd be able to learn a language in a day. This was something we had in our textbooks back in the early 2000s. So yeah, this thought's been here since way before Musk.
Whenever they say they're going to do something, they've already done it.
Sure, just like how they said they're going to start cloud seeding in the future. I was like, I just looked outside. They were doing it again today. What do you mean?
Exactly. So, well, just be careful. Put your spiritual protection around you and go for it, but don't ever sell out. That's it.
Well, I'll never sell out. It's just not in my nature. So.
All right. Blessings. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you.
And thank you for everything.
All right. You're welcome.
Sincerely.
You take care. All right. You're very welcome. Yeah, she's a lady, and that's the kind of energy I expect from women, right? Women are worried, they're concerned, they want to make sure everything's safe. That's why women usually look for stronger men, more alpha type of men, going to keep them safe. And all the trolls are always saying, we should have a truther Royal Rumble. Maybe we should do that. Maybe whoever wins the Royal Rumble, gets to go on everybody's platform and promote their message. I'll be the first to sign up. Let's go. So. Owen Benjamin's always talking about how big he is. Doesn't mean you can fight. Let's go. 705. What's up, 705?
Hey, Zach. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I just called it. I'm listening to the show. I watched a little bit of Owen Benjamin, but he got canceled, and I've been watching you for since maybe 2015, and I get it. I see it all. You're the shit.
Well, I've been here working, but man, the world's just getting worse every day, and the message is seemingly becoming less viewed, less talked about, and yeah, it's just, I mean, it's frustrating for me because I know if the world would just sit down and actually listen to what we're showing, the light bulb would go off and they'd stop participating in all this bullshit from the rigged elections to the rigged games and they'd turn off the news. I mean, it would be awesome if just everybody canceled their cable bill overnight. These are the type of things that need to happen.
Well, I try to tell all my friends about this. I've told a lot of my friends about this kind of stuff, and a lot of them don't understand it. They don't understand the forward, backwards gematria and stuff like that. They don't understand reduced cipher. They don't understand these things. And you can't get through their brains. They're hypnotized.
Some people, though, it gets through, and I'm telling you, those hypnotized masses, they're just followers. So if like this topic became viral, if it was on the Daily Show on Comedy Central, other than like in a 2-minute soundbite like they've done making fun of it, but it was something they actually looked at, they'll simply be like, "Whoa, I need to learn more about this." They have to hear it from their. Again, the program people only accept information from certain avenues. We have to figure out how to get this information in those avenues. We have to make them broach the subject. So it's only going to happen with big numbers. Like I've said, I mean, it's going to be like the V for Vendetta scene. People taking over all the news networks. These kind of things could happen if people organized and networked together. So people think they're a pipe dream. They could become a reality if people actually work together to do it. And there is safety in numbers.
There is, yeah. It's pretty intense, nonstop. I just watched the Zenith the Alpha video with Princess Diana. That's pretty intense.
Well, what was it that was intense?
It's the new Zenith video that I just put out.
Oh, Zenith of the Alpha? Zenith of the Alpha?
What's that?
Zenith of the Alpha?
Yeah.
Okay,
He put a video today.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, he does good work.
That's pretty good.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Kayla Decoder and all the other Gematria crew, awesome. Decode Reality, she's awesome too.
Wait, decode your. Is that Logan?
It's a girl. It's a lady from the south.
You mean crack their code? Crack their code.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, Decode Your Reality's Logan, and he's not awesome.
No, he's not. No, he overcodes things. He was going on and on about the freaking.
Dude, again, he comes from Hollywood too,
and the Lions and the Ravens, and I was like, oh my God, can you make it more mumbo jumbo?
That's his decodes are just ridiculous, and again, he does come from Hollywood, and he's telling people that it's all organic, and his line is like, what's his line? Be the best devil you can be, or something. It's like, come on, man.
Oh yeah. Be the best little devil, and it's your truth. Oh, it's your truth. No, it's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth, or it's not the truth. That's
right.
My truth. Or anybody's truth. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it never ends. It took me a little while to figure out how to do this, but that was years ago. And now I see it clear as day. It's happening in my city with the like for instance the hospital in the city that I live in, 201. The address is 201, right?
Yeah.
We're doing the whole 201 thing with the jab and everything, and it all fits in perfectly. They're building the cities and the streets to this code also, and the buildings seem to be getting built to these codes also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So it never ends. So Zach, but keep up the good work. You're awesome. I've been watching you for years and years and years, and I tell everybody about it.
Well, I appreciate the support, and thank you for getting the word out there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, brother. Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, the comment about waters above crypto, he saw the dead-on prediction I put out for Bitcoin a few years back, and he instantly made a Gematria crypto decoding channel, and he's made a lot of money, and also never pays any respect to who taught him. What's up, 315?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, so, I come from an African background, so I got like a lot of friends, they play soccer and stuff like that. I try to tell one of my uncles, like this stuff you watching, like it's rigged and stuff like that. So I wanted to know, like, besides that World Cup, like is there any more like significant like games that like it's very clear, like you got the decodes and everything like that?
For sports?
No, for soccer.
Well, all right. So there's a guy that I also don't care for in this community, but his thing is decoding international football with Gematria. So for once, I'm gonna reference him. His name is the Illusion, and I don't follow international football, but again, it's the same type of thing. So if you want to watch a guy who's decoding international football each day, the Illusion is. Another guy who's doing it is Script Unveiled, but I haven't noticed any activity from him lately, unless like YouTube took him out of my feed. So Script Unveiled and the Illusion are guys who are focused on international football.
Okay, because they're all rigged, right? Like even the international sports, all of that, right?
I mean, they're doing the same types of things all across the world. English is the language of the world. This system is international.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. 559.
Yes. Is this the Gematria?
This is the Gematria.
Yeah. He has a. I didn't. Usually it just goes straight on. I wanted to talk to him about the movie 12 Monkeys.
Okay. We were talking about that a lot in the time of COVID, but go ahead.
Yes. Wait, is this Zach?
Yeah, hold on. By the way, before you go on, shout out to Resist Control. I didn't realize you were doing that, Resist Control, but Resist Control is also decoding Mexican football every day. So check out Resist Control. I got a sub, Resist Control. I don't think I'm sub to you. I didn't realize you were doing work, but thank you. I definitely know who you are. Appreciate it. All right. 559. What's up?
Okay. Basically, the past, present, future already has happened. Where the Gematria is revealing the quantum computer code. The Jesuits have had some kind of diamond quantum chronovisor computer that they're using to manipulate things.
Here. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop. If this is true, then why do they need to constantly put out the programming every single day? If the future's already happened and we're just reliving it all out, why do they need to put all this programming to control everybody? Why do they have to put people in 13 years of slave school to program their minds? Why do they have to have people online trying to shout down the people who are actually telling the truth? Why do they need to do that if the future's already happened?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm not sure, but for some reason, maybe we screwed everything up and now we're trying to fix it, perhaps?
Okay. Well, I'm John Connors from The Terminator, and we're changing the future.
Well, perhaps. But I do know that if you look up diamonds, so we can grow lab diamonds, and they are using those diamonds, all kinds of companies. This is the cutting edge. And it came to me because I started diamondquantum.com. And I don't even care to make money because I don't think money matters. There's something deeper in the sense of how physical matter is quantum information. So all of reality is operating on quantum mechanics. So that tells us we're inside of some kind of quantum computer where every universe in the multiverse is based off of some kind of quantum computer, just on different variations and different variables. I don't know exactly all the details, but this is just one of many.
Okay. I got to be honest. The whole quantum thing is quantum computing is above my pay grade. It's just like when Brian acts like he can't understand gematria. I mean, in reality, it's really hard for me to grasp this whole quantum physics, quantum computing. It's just I don't understand it yet. It's something I'd have to study a lot more.
So
nature operates on quantum mechanics. Nature and vibration and frequency, everything is energy, so everything is vibrating, and
I get that.
everything is basically photons, light. Everything is light. It's photons. Photons are the information particle that is entangled together in different patterns, and yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure, but for some reason, you know, everything, there is no time or space. It's all concurrent, so you can't really like quantify it as linear. It's more some kind of spiritual type of thing.
Okay. I get the energy and vibration. That's Hermeticism right there. Again, for everyone who doesn't know the 7 Hermetic principles, you got to look those up. They are profound.
Yeah, so energy, but then there's the ABC 1, 2, 3, which has some kind of vibrational. Why are the keyboard? How come every computer keyboard only has English alphabets? Why isn't there any Hebrew keyboards? There's no.
I imagine there is. I imagine there is.
Is there?
I got to imagine there is. Yeah, in other languages, I got to imagine they have keyboards that support their language.
Keyboards, but no physical. Everything on the, as far as I know, all physical keyboards are ABC, 1, 2, 3.
I'll look into that. I just assumed other languages got keyboards in their respective language.
Yeah, so that's fascinating too, because how come all of our internet and computers, I think people in China use ABC 1, 2, 3 on their keyboards, but there are virtual keyboards that you can pull up, even on your phones, where you can translate it. But yeah, that's something to look into, because we're all utilizing keyboards that have ABC. So definitely the English language, why is it that that's kind of like the major language? I'm not saying that's the standard, but it does seem like the internet and everything was based off of ABC 1, 2, 3.
Well, again, alpha and bet, it goes back to the old Hebrew language. So.
Well, that's interesting, because the new generation after Z, did you know it's Generation Alpha, then Generation Beta, then so now we're going into Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. I don't even know what C is, but so even the generations were, ABC, XYZ.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate all these thoughts. It's just a little bit off topic, but thanks for the call anyhow. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, take care. I'm going to have to look into this keyboard thing. I got to imagine there's other keyboards for other languages. What are you going to do if you don't speak English? So I saw when I said, whose platform should we push to try to get on? And for people who haven't been here, in the past we tried to do this, and we saw how YouTube was destroying us. We were going to popular YouTube channels, and I was leaving a comment, and everybody was thumbsing up the comment, and the next thing you knew, YouTube would just delete the comment all the way. So instead of it being up at the top of the person's feed, it was just gone. But maybe like if you're on X or Twitter, almost all these people are on there, If we could agree on one person, maybe we could blast them for a few straight days and see if we can get them to have a conversation. And over the course of several weeks, maybe we can get on all these people's platform. Yeah, I'm just sick of doing the same thing every day and watching the world get worse, and just realize they're taking us further down the agenda, and it really doesn't seem like there's any stopping it. We got to figure out how to get the message out way bigger. We've got to create a big old spark. Sam Tripoli, he's had me on 2 times. I appreciate Sam, but he brings on, what's that guy? The guy that goes by Wisehop? Brings him on all the time, and I just get annoyed. I'm like, when I watch that Wisehop guy go on, I'm just like, okay, this guy is like the poser. This guy's like the poser truther, and it's so obvious. Why is he coming on all the time? I think someone told Sam not to bring me on anymore. I think he got slapped on the wrist. Yeah, well, Mark Passio, again, I've been on his call waiting room like a million times over the last few years, and he just won't take the call. So, and I know he knows my name, so he's purposefully not taking the call. And Mark just never acknowledges anyone either. That's the other thing. I don't know who he's having a tirade against every week. He's acting like he communicated with somebody. It's like, you don't talk to anybody. You don't communicate with anybody. You don't even allow comments. Who are you getting all mad at? Like you had some conversation with some critic this past week. It obviously didn't happen. What we need, I swear to God, we need in every city one of those trucks with the digital billboard, that changes, just like dropping Gematria effects city to city. I wish we could pull up at the Super Bowl with one of those, Show them the Joe Montana 54, the Joe Montana 67, Chiefs back in the Super Bowl while he's 67, the 19th prime. Mahomes trying to go back-to-back, first QB in 19 years. He's trying to do what Brady did in 2003 and 2004 and Montana did in Super Bowls 23, 24. Let people see the script, Shout out to Resist Control. He'd recommend somebody, but he only watches my channel. Hilarious. It's hard for me to watch other people's channels too, man, because it's just like, hey, once you know what we know, it's just like, look at what these other people are talking about. Doesn't even move the conversation. All right, hold on. We got another call. 804. Hey.
This is Paulo from Virginia. We talked one time before.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling back.
Let me turn it down here.
Okay.
Hey, I was thinking An0maly would be good for you to be, but I think, I don't know. He's probably scared of the Gematria thing, but, everybody's on different levels. You know what I mean? Maybe he needs to be coached into it.
So maybe you
give up on the boy, but because I liked his music, but I don't know. I look at some of the videos, like he knows the truth. He knew it more when he was a kid than he does now, I think. You know what I mean?
An0maly. So somebody came out when I was in LA in April to let me know that they're friends with An0maly, and they said, I just want you to know that he talks about you all the time. I don't know why he won't have you on. He's well aware of your information, but I just want you to know that he's out there watching.
They freaked him out, They messed with his money. I know they popped him off the air the same time they did you. And, I had his music stored on my playlist, and they knocked all of his music off, and they knocked his channel off, too, And another guy that's been out for, like 2 years, he was a good truther. Jordan Maxwell's dead now. If you listen to his the last couple of videos that he put out were just freaking amazing, man. I love that guy so much. I miss him. But I got off topic. I got So, but yeah, Jordan Maxwell's awesome. I hope An0maly comes around. But he does a really good job. Maxwell does a good job explaining how NASA and Nazi are the same thing. I mean, it's the Nazi party. They're in charge right now. And that's what everybody's scared to admit. But
Jordan Maxwell passed away, right? Jordan Maxwell passed away.
Do what?
You know that Jordan Maxwell passed, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I know. I said, the video that he did right before he passed.
Okay.
Explains very well about the Nazi party. Are you there?
I am. I mean, the Nazis were modeled after the Jesuits, so.
Well, right. He knew all about the Jesuits and everything. You see, I was on him before I knew about the Gematria. Have you heard of Nicholson 68? He also. This is about the transhumanist agenda. the whole thing has to do with I'm back on topic. Okay, the transhumanist agenda, 322, Skull and Bones, right?
Just to answer your question, yes, I do know who that is, and that's another person who attacked me out of nowhere, unprovoked, probably back in 2014 or 2015.
He's religious too. That's what I said. I don't know if he would. Yeah.
And again, he should learn Gematria because
during COVID, so he hadn't put anything out.
But again, he should learn. He should.
Humanist agenda again on the 322. There are 22 sections of the human chromosomes. Right there, we got 2 strands of the DNA. The 322 is the transhumanist. It's a third strand of the double helix. They want to add the next extra strand. You see what I'm saying? He does a pretty good job at explaining the whole transhumanist thing that's going on. And they're doing this thing in the schools right now with the children. I got kids in elementary school, and they're using this. It's called gamified learning. And I believe they're going to be using that with whatever they got going on, with whatever they're putting in, But the kids are learning through this gamified learning. It's not good. None of this shit is good. But they're destroying America. Yeah, that's why they're going to call it the New World Order, though, right? That's why Columbus called us the New World.
Right, and was there really ever in America?
The 322 thing, I wanted you to try to look into that a little bit. It makes sense to me that the 322 might be the third strand with 22. There are 22 sections in the double helix thing.
I'll look into that. I mean, I think it's pretty well established that the 322 is really about the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, 3 pillars, 22 paths, and what's revealed in Genesis 322.
That too. Yeah, but they need a programmable. They want a programmable human, and it's
I think they've had that for a long time. They want it more programmable.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're like Maxwell said, we're willful idiots. So. Anyway, most of us are good-natured, willful idiots. Hopefully everybody will be okay, but they are stirring up a lot of hate everywhere, and they just, all the immigrants, that's not going to help everything. The weather wars, I swear we got some weather war going out here. I mean, that thing that is off of the coast of California is scary as hell. You should look into that. The thing is rotating in the wrong direction and pulling the air from the south and the air from the north and shooting it all the way across the country. There's some crazy shit going on.
Indeed.
Anyway, good luck to everybody. I love everybody, and I do love your work. I think maybe you ought to try to hook up with An0maly or Nicholson 68 or I don't know.
Well, again, An0maly.
Humans, we don't get along with each other. That's why the Jesuits are in charge of us now. We'll kill each other given the right circumstances.
Right. Well, if An0maly's live,
power to the king until God comes back, right?
Watch what happens the next time An0maly's live, and I go in his chat. He'll go like, "Oh, look, the numbers guy's here. He thinks his work's so important."
I really wish he would. I wish he would come around because I think he'd be good for all of us,
Well, meanwhile, I have his friend coming out and telling me that he's watching and gets it, but then he has to put on the show that he's like, oh, it just.
No, brother, it's hard times, The Nazis are in charge and everybody's freaking out. So. Wait a minute. Who else is James Corbett of CorbettReport.com. I love James. The 2 Jameses. Do you know the Jameses?
I know James Corbett. He'll collaborate with obvious shills like Retard from Boston, but then will ignore us, so it makes me think he's suspect too, but he does do good work.
Yeah, well, he was on the whole 9/11 thing before anybody, and everything he does is documented. Everything is in the show notes. You can research everything that he says. I think he's awesome. So
yeah, he does good work.
That would be a good one for you. Is Corbett?
Who's the other James?
James Corbett.
Who's the other James?
Huh?
Who's the other James?
James Corbett and James Evan Pilato is his name.
Evan Pilato. Okay. Yeah. I don't know his name.
The 2 Jameses is what I call them.
Okay.
Anyway, Have a good day, and hope everything works out. I'm still recovering from, during the COVID thing. I was in recovery from having blown out a bunch of veins in my neck, and I ain't supposed to be here anyway. But I was at the ER when the whole COVID thing was blowing up because of, really bad pain. I suffered through the worst pain you can imagine.
That sounds painful.
It sucks. And right now we're in a medical apartheid. I can't even get a doctor to look at me. They'll try to put me on some poison. You know what I mean? I just take care of myself. I watch my diet. I work in my garden. I try to keep my kids, availed to what's going on, but most of them think I'm nuts, so.
I know how that goes. Well, I'm glad you survived your medical emergency, and I hope you keep recovering. Thanks for the call.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right, yeah,
Thanks.
you too. Take care. My only real criticism of his calls, in a way, I guess it's fair to call them Nazis, but the Nazis really were just an extension of the Jesuits. There's a reason the Catholic Church didn't say a peep. What's up, 716?
Yeah, sorry. I called back in because the last person was talking about transhumanism and how it all just goes back to 322. I think it's a little deeper. Okay, you already mentioned Hermeticism. I assume you're familiar with that shit. So you know how Gnosticism places this idea that that the flesh is inferior, or that we're forced into material incarnation in some sense. So I think the idea stems from that, and part of why I think that there is some game, I think Deus Ex Machina or something like that, which has heavy transhumanist themes, and they have this whole thing about, I wanted to break free from the flesh and get the security of steel, and I thought about it, and it aligns perfectly with this Gnostic hatred of the human form. And so that way they could, you know what I mean? And that way it would be like a materialistic means of achieving immortality, which is why we're told, in school, is that we'll be able to live forever through science and shit. You know what I mean? It's a fairly common idea. And I think it's more about taking, and I know you're not a Christian, you don't really like Christianity or whatever, but they have this, it's a way of taking that concept of immortality and transcending the flesh and realizing that in a practical way.
Yeah, I do hear that.
Yeah, that's all. I wanted to throw in something a little more. I'm not trying to hate on the other caller or anything. I want to throw in something a little more in touch with ancient texts or whatever, not just modern science. That's all. Anyways, I appreciate your work.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Remember, you just had the brain implant story from Elon Musk's supposed thing over there on January 29th, 129, and brain implant in Gematria is 129, so it was transhuman. So, yeah, the caller just brought up Nicholson, 1968. I actually had him in my own mind when that story broke. I was like, here's a guy who made fun of Gematria, attacked me for no reason. He's part of the Richie. He was part of that Richie from Boston computer scam, if you remember that years ago. But man, here's Gematria just showing you how the transhuman agenda is unfolding by the numbers. When people say I got to give Christians a break, I'm not very hard on Christians, other than Christian trolls. Annoying Christians. So. Almost all of my trolls are Christians. Derek's Moon decode? I mean, Derek's done a lot of decodes on the moon, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Some of the stuff he's done with the moon is good. 604?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know if anyone suggested this before, but I was thinking Eddie Bravo would be a good place. He has a podcast. It's like pretty low-key podcast called Check It Out. Like that guy, if he gets it, I think he won't like shut up about it. Like he's really into conspiracies and like truth and stuff like that.
I saw him making fun of Gematria with Sam Tripoli, and since I've done Sam Tripoli's show 2 times, I'm sure he's aware. But yeah, maybe we should try to reach out to Eddie Bravo, because I did see him actually talking shit about the subject, and maybe that would be a good debate, and it shouldn't be hard to win, because he's not a very smart guy. So.
No, of course. I think anyone though who doesn't like fully get it, doesn't like take time to fully understand, is gonna talk shit about it. But I think he believes in flat Earth and stuff like that. But I think he does have an open mind. Like he would definitely understand. I don't know about Sam, but he would definitely understand.
Well, what's the show called? Eddie Bravo's. What's it called? Check It Out.
Or no, look into it. I'm sorry.
Look into it.
Yeah, it's like a low key podcast. You might be able just to get on, just by contacting, like email or something.
Okay, yeah, I'll reach out to Eddie Bravo. Appreciate that tip.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I forget what I was watching. I think it was a Sam Tripoli broadcast I was watching. I was like, wait, Eddie Bravo comes on, he starts ripping on Gematria. I was like, what the hell? And again, he is a flat earther, so what do you expect? You got to have at least a few IQ points to grasp Gematria. So. Okay, so what's the consensus here? Should we try to get any of these people to broach the subject? Out of all the faces up here, who's the one we should go after to try and get the subject first? Toby Keith died yesterday, but the news did break today. And if you missed my decode on that, it's, of course, by the numbers. He's dead at 62 days before the Country Music Television Awards. And, of course, sacrifice equals 62 like Toby. So, R.I.P. I don't know how Brian couldn't grasp that one. Dead at 62 days before the Country Music Awards, and every year we're showing these sacrifice codes for these award ceremonies. Toby Keith equals 47. The Country Music Television Awards are on 47. I don't know, sounds pretty elementary. I feel like really is just like a litmus test. If you can't grasp Gematria and what we're showing each day, you probably should just stay out of the whole realm of debating about anything. You probably just don't have enough intelligence to talk about anything. If you can't grasp this elementary subject, you probably don't have enough IQ points up here to really discuss anything in the world for that matter. David Icke doing his thing with the former banker Brian Rose. The bankers took over the world with the lockdowns and all these central bank bailouts. People didn't catch the mockery. David Icke and Brian Rose doing those rituals by the numbers as we talked about back then. Toby died on Axl Rose's birthday. Did they have a history? I know they're both in the music business, but yeah, I don't know if they ever toured together or something like that. Well, Plain decoded your comment. I mean, there's legitimacy to your comment, but you know what? Once upon a time, doing it just this way, we were getting huge views. I was getting some of the most views in the truth community once upon a time, so I'm not sure that if I switch up and make everything fancier, if it's going to help when you got an algorithm that's destroying you. I think the most beneficial thing that could happen for me is other people helping talk about the work. I'll make a point. There's a guy in this community who's really not that good at decoding. I think he's giving it his best effort. I think he means well. But, just some of the irrelevant names that the algorithms propped up in the years, like, hey, what's up? It's Donut. Like that guy. That guy and a couple other people gave him a shout out, and now he's getting as many views on his videos as I do. And it's not a good thing for Gematria because most of his decodes are next to worthless and kind of make the work look hokey and absurd. But just from getting a few shout outs from a few irrelevant morons, he's now getting as many views as I do. So, I really think the way we're going to get back in favor is by getting some support from some other people who supposedly care about what's taking place in the world. Well, I was hating on Google back then and I was still doing well. But again, if other people are helping get out the word, then yeah, the algorithm will still have its clamps. But again, I imagine it would help out with exposure. So a lot of people have never heard anything about the word gematria in their life. Yeah, exactly. I mean, YouTube really should be renamed. It should not be called YouTube anymore because you're not allowed to be yourself. You can get censored for that. You're just supposed to, push mainstream agendas, and now we all know how it is. I mean, if you weren't using YouTube back in 2016, it's just a whole different experience now. Back then, you searched for something when it happened. Like if you would have searched, like the breaking news today right now is a mass shooting at a school. If you would have searched mass shooting this school, you'd be getting all of the people who made content about that mass shooting. And, and usually I'd be right up at the very top of the search because I was always one of the first people to get out anything about the coverage in the world. Now what happens when you search? You get every single mainstream news coverage source. It's like, okay, that stuff's already on the television. Why are they putting everything that's already on the TV at the top of the feed? This is like a rebroadcast of the mainstream tube, It is possible that Brian's in masonry. Hold on, Joey wants another shot. All right, Joey's back. What is it today, Joey?
Yo, in Google, I just want you to Google Binghamton resident dissolve.
What?
And you should see an article. This is just for the relevance of gematria in the local community.
You want me to do what?
Google search, just type in Binghamton resident and then the word dissolve.
Why?
You should see an article you should see a headline that says Binghamton resident proposes legislation that would dissolve Binghamton Police Department.
Okay.
This was news yesterday.
They emphasize dissolve because it equals 33 like police?
Exactly. They emphasize the word dissolve, 33 like police, and the Binghamton resident that proposed this, his name is John Solak, which is also 33 in the most pure cipher.
Yeah.
And yesterday, because of the leap year, was the day leaving 330 days left in the year. So 433. And if you read the article, the proposal that this resident came up with, the name of the proposal is called Police Choice Act, which in Francis Bacon's gematria, where capital letters matter, it equals 205. Like yesterday was 2/05. So this was news yesterday here locally, and just complete bullshit by the numbers, controlled opposition. Just fucking only retards just don't want to bring up this subject because it's just undeniable. And this isn't just a one-off. All the local news stories here It's just bullshit by the numbers. But that's all I have, man. Pete, thanks for taking my call.
All right. Later, Joey. Yeah, and if you do apply the knowledge, I mean, they do it in your local news as well. I mean, almost anytime I turn on the local news, I see the jokes they're making. Yeah, Brian being a Mason, he could be, you know. The only time he really addressed Gematria was against Russian Vids and Richie from Boston because they made an allegation against him. And Russian Vid's attack on him was that he put out a photo saying, "This is me at 17, and this is me 33 years later." And of course, you know, like the House of the Temple in D.C. isn't the address 1733, and Mason does equal 17, and Masonry does equal 33. And again, modern Freemasonry was created in 1717, 59 years before this nation, and 59 is the 17th prime. So, you know, Brian said it was just that's just, he had a photo from when he was 17 when he started lifting weights, and he had a photo from when he was 50, and he was just showing the milestone of being 50 and still being in great shape. And, you know, I can sit there and go, okay, maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe he didn't realize the significance of 17 and 33. I do understand 50 is a milestone. 17, that's when I started lifting weights too. I didn't know anything about Gematria or Masons. It's probably when a lot of people start lifting weights. I got my first gym membership at age 17. So, actually, you know what? I take it back. I might have been 16 when I got my first gym membership, now that I think about it. I think I got it right after I started driving. So I was probably actually 16. But it was around the same time. So, yeah, you know, sometimes things could be a coincidence, but then you think about, well, Brian's also on here trying to denounce things and keep people in a corner. Why would he spend so much time, though, railing against the highly Masonic government? So, you know, you have to put that on the other side and say, well, I mean, I do like a lot. I've always liked a lot of the things Brian says. That's why I've always been frustrated that he just like would continually ignore me. I got really annoyed when Adam Green came out of nowhere and like everybody and their mom had him on. I was like, damn, I've been here for 5 years putting out work. That's way better than what this guy's doing. And everybody and their mom's having him on their show and podcast. And then so I got Adam Green to have me on, and he took down the interview the next day. I was like, why would he take down the interview? That's weird. That's weird. I gave him a free copy of the book too. And then he just made fun of it. Horrible. Horrible. Two 3-9.
Hey, Zach.
Hello.
My thought is possibly when a story breaks, it's going to be huge. You can tell it. It's going to be in the news for weeks. Maybe you could create a different channel name and get keywords going that's going to pull more traffic in. And maybe you're being blocked just from the name Gematria.
Yeah, I think that I've been thinking about creating a new channel to see if it could help solve some problems. Something I hate to do, but it's just annoying. If you put your title in all caps, you get way more views. But I don't do it because I just feel like, I don't know. It makes me. I'm like, who are the people that are clicking on the video just because the title's in all caps? Are they little kids? What is it? So
my other thought is that guy John Warner that goes on Star Journalist every couple months. And he's somebody that knows all about deep pockets. If you could ever get in touch with him, he could maybe give you a hand on how to build your business for real.
Okay.
You know who John Warner is?
I'm typing it in here. John Warner. I got to look him up. I'm not sure I got the right one. It's not the United States Secretary of the Navy. It can't be that John Warner.
Well, his father was a senator.
Oh, maybe it is. Is he John W. Warner?
His family money came from, his mother's side of the family, I believe. That's the Bank of New York. What's the name of that bank? It's his family's name. It's not Warren. Well, Warner was his grandpa, or his father was senator of, was it Virginia.
How do I find John Warner's?
His family's name is Mellon. So it comes from the Bank of New York. He really knows about deep pockets, and he's a very, very open person as much as he can be with explaining, what his family went on with his family and everything.
How do I find his platform? How do I find this John Warner?
I don't know about his platform. He has a couple of books out there, but I think he puts them as fiction. But he goes on Dark Journalist about once every 2 months.
Okay.
But those are my two ideas.
Okay. I'll look more into it. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
All right, thank you. I see a comment in the chat or a question that I get a lot. Why don't you use Rumble more? Here, let me answer it by showing you something. So here's Call Me Kinfolk. He has a video with me. It got 8 likes. Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. He's got the episode up here with me. It got 55 likes. Johnny Cerrucci, his video up here with me, got 4 likes. Tinfoil Hat, other podcast is here, got 102 views. Apparently no likes. The biggest shill to ever walk the earth by Flat Earth Awakening. That got 7 likes. Okay. Resistance Rising, that's also Johnny Cerrucci. 8 likes. And it's weird when I search for my own name. I have a channel on here. It just doesn't even come up. Call Me Kinfolk one. He must have just put my name in there or something. But the Higher Side Chance interview, it got 3 likes, 168 views. Essentially, my answer is why even bother with this platform? This platform, unless you're a former Fox News host towing the Republican line, you're not going to get any views on here. So, the Gematria Effect anti-Christian news cult network that spots Jesuits in every Masonic corner. Okay, I'm sure that's a great breakdown of what we're doing over here. And what a moron this person is. He doesn't understand that modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. Just like, again, probably doesn't understand much about anything. 604.
Hey man, one thing I forgot to mention. I got one idea. There's an app called Minnect. MINNECT. You can pretty much go pay someone or pay people by the minute to talk to them, and there's like thousands of people on it. There's like different businessmen, YouTubers, like anyone you can think of. It was made by that guy Patrick Bet-David. He has like a YouTube podcast as well, and you can pay by the minute, and they'll like 100% go on a video call. And maybe that's like a good way to like if you want to talk to specific people, see if they have an account on Minnect. The phone app.
So what do I need to call?
So it's like a app, like a phone app, like on the App Store. It's called Minnect. You just make an account, and I mean, we're saying you can talk to anyone there, but like it's like a guaranteed way where you can like for sure talk to that person. You gotta see like who's there, like who you want to talk to. But
Minnect.
MINNECT.
Okay, got it.
All right.
All right, I'll check it out. Appreciate it. All right. Well, nobody said it was just Jesuit, but modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. It's just like the Jesuits. I mean, they're playing on things that came long before them as well. 252.
Yo, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, dude? Hey, I'm a long time listener, man, like since 16. But anyway, I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm just trying to stay on your topic of like links and stuff. There's one guy for sure, Jay Widener. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Oh, are you still there, 252?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So I was trying to bring up a gentleman by the name of Jay Widener.
Okay, Jay Widener.
Yeah, he's done some really compounding work in the field lately. He put out a documentary on JFK on I think it aired on Netflix. He's also done some incredible work on 2001: Space Odyssey, Kubrick's work, where Jay Widener, man, really does really great work, and I feel like he's kind of like shadow banned like you, because I hadn't heard a lot about him until I came across him.
But he's on Netflix?
Yeah, what's up?
But they put his thing on Netflix?
Yeah. Jay Widener recently put out a documentary about JFK on Netflix, where I really feel like he blows it out the water, and he really does solve the majority of it, and just really, really well done. I'm surprised it's even on there.
I'm gonna check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna watch this documentary on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah. No, Jay Widener has done really great work, and I don't know if you caught the bit about Stanley Kubrick's work, but he's also all over Stanley Kubrick and just really brings some things to light, especially with the moon landing. But and he was on Art Bell's show, I think, back in the day, and really put this out there back then. But one other person I'm not trying to put on blast, but dude, this kid gets crazy views. I feel like he has mad talent. You're probably familiar with him. Kid is blown up. It's Channel 5, Andrew Callahan. He actually started with All Gas No Brakes. But dude, this kid has got raw talent, and he's doing some straight up journalism like it's supposed to be. And he's also puts out ads where he's looking for stories. And dude, he puts out a video within hours, he's got $500,000. Shit's wild, bro. Kid really does have talent. He's a little wet behind the ears. You can tell he really doesn't know a whole lot about how a deep rabbit tunnel goes, but he's open, and he seems to be a raw journalist.
Well, what's his name again?
Andrew.
What's his name?
Andrew Callahan.
Andrew Callahan.
Channel 5 News, Andrew Callahan. Kid's raw, bro. He's got mad talent.
Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan.
Yeah, Channel 5, Andrew Callahan.
Yeah, he's getting big views. Yeah, I know what I used to be able to get 500,000 views in hours. I've had several videos get 500,000. I've only had 2 videos ever get past 1 million views, and I don't know how many views one of those videos got, because it got about 1 million views in 24 hours, and then it didn't go up. It didn't go up a single tick after that. I was like, the video really just stopped at 1 million views. YouTube, come on. So.
Yeah, dude, I never would have probably found you about when back in 2016. I'll never forget, dude. It was the fucking PGA. It was the U.S. Open for the PGA, and Jordan Spieth won. And I was like, something doesn't look right. And I was immediately on YouTube trying to find out what's going on. And back then, bro, it's y'all know what's going on. They just flood it with mainstream shit now, and you don't even pop up. So, I feel for you, bro, because I know the knowledge. I know how rich knowledge is, man. And I've been here for a long time, bro. I check you out all the time, and I talked to you several times before. So keep doing what you're doing, bro. But yeah, these 2 people, they got Jay. Jay's mad knowledgeable, bro. Jay. But I'll leave you to it, man. Let you do what you do.
All right, appreciate the heads up. Thank you.
All right, Zach.
Q Family HBL scene. This got 2 million views. I don't know what this guy's message is, but he is seemingly getting a lot of views. He's got 52 videos and already 2.46 million subscribers. I got more than 52 videos put out in the month of January, and the channel grew 50 subs. But that's the thing the algorithm does too, and this shit's been going on for years. If you're you can tell when you're in the bad algorithm, because anytime you post a video, as soon as the video posts, you lose X amount of subs. I think right now the average is if I post the video, instantly there's 10 less subs than I had before I posted the video. And this has been going on, even before they were banning everybody and taking down everything, this has been going on the whole time I've been here. So you just realize once YouTube marks your channel a certain way, you instantly lose subs every time you post a video. And it's just what is that about? I mean, how's your? That's how they keep your channel from doing anything. So it's called algorithm hell. He probably is to be getting millions of views. I mean, I have no idea what his content's about, so I won't jump to any conclusions. But exactly, people that are subscribed to my channel don't even get notifications. That's how censored we are. What's up, 432?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you do a search for the keyword Jesuit comic book?
I know who you're talking about. I found this guy's YouTube channel, and he does good work. He hates Manly P. Hall, which is also ironic.
Yeah.
Jack T. Chick.
Baptist church, man, right?
Jack T. Chick, right here.
And Chick Productions. Okay. I actually purchased it's like an 8-part series, right? And anyway, the first comic, it'd be so badass if you had a Gematria comic book.
Yeah, I think that might be a better way to, that's what I've been saying. Like, I've been working on these books. I think I just need like a really short book with hardly any words and pictures. I think that's something people would actually look at. So.
Yeah. You know what? I would recommend you check out at least that first copy. I think it's like $2. But yeah, it's very interesting. They expose the Catholic Church and Jesuit, you know, as missionaries. But I just cool, Zach. Good to talk to you, man.
All right, yeah, appreciate the thought and the idea. And yeah, for people, look at this guy's YouTube channel. The videos look like they were recorded probably 20 years ago, but it's good information.
Yeah. So. Okay, and it's the same guy. I'm thinking of. He has glasses, and he's like a Baptist. Like, 'cause they push, you know, the Baptist religion in this comic book towards the end. You know, they slip it in there.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be so bad. I kept thinking, man, if Zach had a comic book. Oh.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Later. I really would like to create my own publishing company. Because the thing that I'm frustrated with is I feel like I'm not getting paid for my book sales. I feel like they're literally ripping me off. Like I told you guys, when my book was first for sale, Number Games, I was thinking like, oh, we're going to do it because I got paid. I forget what I got paid. I got paid over $10,000 the first 2 months it was out. And that felt good. And then instantly the next month, it was down to $200. I was supposed to get paid on sales. And like every month it was $200, $200, $200. And I'm supposed to get about $2 a copy. So I'm like, so what? Now every month we only sell 100 books? It was like somebody ordering 100 books every month and nobody else is buying the book in the world? And then eventually after 200, it went down to an even lower amount. However, I just got my tax thing, and they said I got paid $2,100 for book sales this past year, which would be like $150 a month. But I was looking back and looking at my monthly payouts, I was like, I paid like $4. I don't know where this money went. It's like, is my money sitting somewhere that I didn't get? And I don't want to pay taxes on money I didn't receive. So anyway, I need to get that figured out too. I was like, I did not receive $2,100 in payments this year. But yeah, I don't know how it went from over $10,000 the first 2 months to just $200 every single month. I feel like that's some kind of scam. That's why I want it all to be in my own hands so I know what's really getting distributed. All right, Jay Widener. I'll look into it. Yeah, I did meet a good illustrator out here, and I have not done. I proposed this idea over a year ago, putting out the short picture books. I just need to do it. It's just so hard for me to condense information, though. It's I just got to write a book like it's just for like a 5-year-old. That's the book the American adult could absorb. Five 570.
Hey Zach, I just wanted to throw in one thing as we're talking about creators. I think there's a creator that I think there's a creator that would have good collaboration with you. His page is CJB Books. His name's Christopher John Bjerknes, and he does really good research into Abrahamic messianism.
Yeah, he's Adam Green's wingman. He's Adam Green's wingman.
Yeah, a few years ago he was with Adam Green, and then they had a falling out over coronavirus, and he just bailed on Adam, and now he just shits on him all the time.
I didn't know that. Wait. I'm interested in this drama. What happened between them over the cooties?
Oh, it's a funny video. If you look it up, Adam Green is sort of downplaying, I think, the death count of COVID, and Christopher John Bjerknes is trying to express how much people are dying, and he just blew up on Adam. You can find the video online. He just gets really angry at him, and then he started posting videos like, oh my gosh, like Adam Green's a small hat, and he just totally flipped on him, which I was glad to see because Adam Green, I mean, clearly a con in my opinion.
So how do you say his last name again? Bjerknes?
Bjerknes.
BJ. Yeah, no. I got his name up here. Here, for people who don't know his name, I got it up on the screen. So wait a minute. He was like advocating that what the news was putting out about the death count for COVID was accurate, or is this how it was?
I think I don't know if it was the news death count was accurate. I think he was just angry at Adam for expressing that it could be lower than it was. I think he was worked up over how many people were dying. I'm not sure if it was in regards to the exact news death count, but I think compared to what Adam was saying, he was just really angry at him that he was, downplaying what he thought were multiple deaths.
Okay, I'm interested in this falling out. I didn't realize I had to fall out, but now that I search, I see 11 months ago, Adam Green of No More News plagiarizes the work of Christopher John Bjerknes. Okay, yeah, I see.
It's a huge conflict right now because Bjerknes was the one that introduced a lot of concepts over Christianity and Islam being like millennial-long psyops to initiate the New World Order during the fulfillment of the Kabbalistic Messianic prophecy. So he introduced that to Adam and was, as you know, on the show a bunch. But after that falling out, he sort of, called Adam out for the plagiarism. And I think he's going a lot more hardcore on his YouTube page and his BitTube page. It's CJB Books, Christopher John Bjerknes. He has his own books. I would just recommend it to everybody. I think possibly you and him could be simpatico. I think the Gematria that you share sort of matches with his talk about the Messianic prophecy. And I think the last thing I'll add is just he's been really accurate since the invasion of Gaza in explaining the occult aspects behind how Israel will operate. So I think that's very revealing, and I think the Gematria you show that reveals some of the hidden moves. I think, maybe an interview with you could just cause a little more discourse on your page. That was all. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, I can reach out to him, so appreciate it.
If you look up Bjerknes, Adam Green on BitChute, you'll find the angry video. And since then, he's just been growing out his beard, going more hardcore. But I think he makes a lot of great points that don't really contradict yours. So I think it's worth a shot.
Okay, we'll try that out. All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, later.
Yep, have a good one.
You can also tell that he's not getting very good views anymore either. It's like nobody who does any authentic work is getting really any kind of views anymore. And a part of me really does wonder if the old YouTube, if we were getting as many views as it made it look like. I'm like, was that fake back then, or were we getting more views? Like, I just wonder about, 2016, 2017 when I was getting a ton of views, if it was real, or if like YouTube was using some different algorithm and blowing up views and making them bigger than they are to promote their own platform. Because it's like, how could it go from so many back then to now it's just so small? I understand the censorship's making it hard for people to find the work, but where were all these people who were watching consistently before? Just something doesn't make sense. Thanks, Nathan. Nathan's got the link for the Adam Green interview he took down. Yeah, it's just like, I look up that Destiny kid because I never watch his stuff, but it shows up in my feed. He's one of these guys that gets millions of views. And I just had to look and I had to laugh that he went to a Jesuit school. He went to Creighton Prep. And, you know, I mean, that kid, he's like a liberal, and he brags about having sex with, you know, over 50 men, but he's not gay, he's bisexual. It's like, that's what they want. They want this little Jesuit liberal who's proud to get pegged by guys. That's like, you want to be in the algorithm, you want to get 1 million views, you got to be down with the agendas. So, yeah, pretty much the whole flat Earth psyop was put out by, like, every famous flat earther's a former ex-con. Like, literally all of them. Every big flat Earth channel, ex-con, all of them. It's like, how did this happen? This is like some kind of probation program? Get out and put just trash content to make the truth community look really dumb? Tim Pool, I mean, who doesn't have dirt on him? Tim Pool, I mean, he just puts dirt on himself with everything that comes out of his mouth. Who's listening to this guy besides total morons? Yeah, maybe I'll reach out to Eddie Bravo. I saw Eddie Bravo dissing Gematria on Sam Tripoli's podcast, and I thought, what in the hell? And then for a while, if you guys ever go back to Sam Tripoli, the first time he had me on, it was hilarious because he's trying to do all of his own Gematria decodes. I was like, okay, he needs a little coaching. He needs a little help with his decodes. But he got so into it. So, yeah, I'll never be mad at Sam Tripoli, but I will say that I'm disappointed with Sam Tripoli bringing on that wise hop truth poser all the time. She's bringing on yours truly. What's up, 531?
What's going on, Zach? I just wanted to speak to your views that you were talking about on YouTube.
Okay.
I honestly think that you guys, I think you might be getting the same amount or more. They're just lying and manipulating the numbers because just from my perspective, I haven't seen as much Gematria out. I haven't seen as many people speaking about Gematria over the past few years as I do now. Like I see it on TikTok, on Instagram, Twitter, just random people, you know, with their own decodes or somebody sharing your work. So I think the work is getting out there, bro. I just think that they're lying about the numbers so they can control. Here.
Well, I'm not really advertising anything in my videos, but I do know that so for people who don't know, when George H.W. Bush died on November 30th, a month before that happened, well, maybe it was the same day John McCain died. John McCain died in like September 2018. But I put out a video that day that got a lot of views about John McCain's death, and I said, watch, George H.W. Bush will not live past the last day of November 2018. I explained why he was going to die at 94 and why he wouldn't live past November 30th. He ended up dying at 94 on November 30th. When that happened, that video got 1 million views within 24 hours, and it's the most money I've ever made in a day in my life. My ebook sold over $5,000 worth of units, right? So I saw what it's like to get a lot of views and how much money can be made. And again, that book sold more in a day than it had like the whole year up to that. So I think that video got more than 1 million views is the point I'm making because YouTube just cut it off at 1 million. But I had, my book was on Etsy back then before it got banned. It got banned that following March on the Ides of March. But I remember I had Etsy, and it was the first time we ever had to turn off the sound effect feature because on my phone it was going ching, 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 ching. It just wouldn't stop. It was all day. And I was like, wow, so these people that get views like this every day, like the Joe Rogans and the Alex Jones of the world, these people are just raking in money. And that's why, now, like supposedly for the last year, my book made $2,000, and I don't even think it made that. But that was just in a day. So, I don't think I'm getting views like I used to, just based on that experience.
Okay, well, I was just saying that because I think, I work for a big platform right now, so I know how things can be manipulated on the back end, and I work for Google as well. I did a little bit of maintenance in their database floor with all their servers and stuff, and I work for LinkedIn right now. I do content review, so things can definitely be manipulated on the back end. Like I'm sure there's analysts at YouTube who have to like verify and double check numbers and views and comments. I'm 1,000% sure they can manipulate whatever they want to. So if you're raking in a lot, if you go viral naturally and you start getting a lot of eyes on you and a lot of money starts pouring into the community, they know that makes you more powerful. So I think personally they manipulate your numbers so it doesn't look like you're doing anything, so it kind of keeps you under radar. But the flip side to that is I see Gematria everywhere, and I've been around since 2017, so I've been able to, kind of look and record how many people are actually following, bro. I mean, it's a lot of people that I didn't see around 2-3 years ago now that are on Facebook posting, TikTok, just posting stuff with Gematria. So don't get too down on yourself. Just always keep in the back of your mind that you probably are doing more than what they're showing. Just keep that in mind, guys.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, take care. Here, I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you the total revenue that my website generated for the year. 346.
Hey Zach, how you doing, man?
Yeah, what's up?
I've been listening to you for a while now. I appreciate all the work you've been doing, and I just wanted to talk a little bit. I know it'll be off topic right now, but I just wanted to ask you some questions about X.
Okay.
And so you already know, 2-4 X is the 26th letter of the alphabet.
Okay.
That's correct, right? So. Yeah, all the stuff with Lil Nas X, with SpaceX, with Twitter and Elon Musk, well, all these things happening with that. Also, XXX being pornography. And I just wanted to ask you, if you've seen these things. When we go to Lil Nas X, his birthday is on April 9th. His birthday is a day after the eclipse that happens over the United States. From the last eclipse that we had on October of 2023 until the eclipse is going to happen on April 8th, it's going to be a total of 25 weeks. Lil Nas X right now, he is 24. So 2, 4, 6, all of that. He's going to turn 25. And one of my, theories that I don't even know, but X marks his spot. And also the eclipse goes over Waco, Texas, which is one of the Masonic, cities in Texas. And the main thing that I want to get to is he's going to turn 25.
Okay.
And he has a huge target on his back because of all the things he's done. I'm just worried. I'm thinking that he might get killed before or after he turns 25. That this may all be a ritual with the video he put out, with the music he's been putting out, and that it may all be a ritual for his death. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's happened to many other people in the industry. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah. Because, we keep seeing a lot of celebrities, a lot of musicians, actually, black rappers who are, they peaked in their career not too long ago, or something happened where, they got a lot of attention, and then their mental health just started going down. They started doing really dumb shit. And like right now it's happening with Nicki Minaj, with the whole thing with Cardi B and, Barbie. And this is a bunch of connections that I think the music industry is going to start building a lot of rituals, and they're starting to be, very popular. A lot of people are starting to realize about these things. So I just wanted to talk about X and the new disease. Even though they say that they always classify an unknown disease as disease X, we didn't read that about COVID before it came out. We didn't get a warning of what would happen with a new disease. This is the first time that it has been spread over the whole media that people are learning about a disease X. And it's just, the coincidences are crazy. We know it's not coincidences. But yeah, I just wanted to get that into your mind. And also something else, one last thing. This Masonic man, something bird with a Y, he went to Antarctica. He made his first travel to Antarctica. It wasn't even Navy or Army, nothing. It was a Masonic trip. All the people that went with him were Masons. And he established this Masonic temple in Antarctica and the number of that temple is 777. I don't know what the importance of that is, but he did that, and now a lot of scientists are being sent to Antarctica. This like the first 747 Boeing airplane got sent over there, full of scientists, and we know all the things that have been happening with the Arctic winds that are causing a lot of climate changes, specifically in Texas. We're getting temperatures so low, and we're gonna get another one this weekend apparently. And I'm just wondering if this whole thing with Antarctica is being engineered by the people who've been taking control over us. It very well could be, but I just wanted to put that into your mind with the number 777 and Antarctica.
Well, 777 in Jewish gematria is order out of chaos. Of course, the seventh letter is G. The Masonic logo is the G. And with regards to the Arctic air being all over the nation at once and everyone experiencing these record low temperatures, of course it's, and again, the first act of weather warfare was admitted to on the Jesuit order's birthday. For real to know, the Jesuit headquarters, the House of the Jesu, they spell it actually with a G, which is also interesting in light of modern Freemasonry being a Jesuit creation. But
yeah,
what's the artist you're worried about again? What's his name? I'll look more into it.
The man who made the trip.
You're worried he's going to die at 25?
Oh yeah. What's his name? Yeah, Lunas X. He's gonna turn 25 on April 9th, the day after the eclipse on April 8th. And he, from the last eclipse that we had, October 20 something of 2023. That one made a route all the way from Oregon down through Texas, and then this next eclipse is gonna make its route through Texas all the way up near New York.
Okay.
So it's making the perfect X, and it's making a specific spot in Texas that passes over Waco and a bunch of Masonic related cities. And we're getting records of people migrating into these states. So it might be a whole ritual that they're making, so they can get a lot of people in there and do whatever they want.
All right, I'll look more into it. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Have a good day.
So again, the reason I'm showing this is just to show you, over the last year, I had $3,263 in sales, and the net sales, what that actually is minus the shipping cost that went with those sales. And the thing is, that's not profit, because a lot of things are t-shirts. So if you paid $20 for a t-shirt, the profit on that's $1. So, I mean, in terms of profit that I made for the year, it's probably not even $400 from those net sales. And again, that's over the course of a year. And that's just what I mean about just I had one video in one day that just generated all this revenue because of how many people found the work. Now over the course of a year, I can't even do what I did in a day. And my views for the year are probably less than what that one video really got in views. So that's why I'm not sure that the views are fake. I feel like, and then I guess it kind of answers my question about were the views fake back then. Maybe they were exaggerated to an extent, but they were definitely still a lot better, because the point was I could make more money in a day than I can make in a year now. So that did only happen on one day. There wasn't any other day like that, but I just know what it is. And the other times I got huge views, I didn't have anything for sale. I didn't have anything monetized, nothing for sale, so hard to say. The first video I ever had that got 1 million views was the Jay-Z Lil Wayne collaboration. I was just talking about how their names are Carter and how it all fit together. For whatever reason, that got 1 million views. Probably one of the least important videos I ever made, but it got a ton of views. Okay. You know, speaking of the eclipse being on April 8th, whose birthday is the next day? Lil Nas X's birthday. Remember, DMX, Darkman X, died on Lil Nas X's birthday the other year in a very easily understood numerical ritual synced up with Tom Brady's scripted Super Bowl, which we saw a mile in advance. So, we need Brian. Brian, who's probably watching this stream and saying nothing. Brian, come on, man. Stop making up excuses for why you can't share this knowledge with your audience, because you're just painting yourself as a liar. You can't say that you won't have me on because of ad hominem attacks and then promote your debate with Owen because of the ad hominem attacks he put out against you. It's literally how you promoted the debate. That's not consistent. And again, you know, the truth does hurt. Brian, for people who missed the time that Brian called into my show, it was just a 30-minute, it was 30 minutes of wasted airtime because Brian just kept talking in circles, going back to the same point. Brian was so butthurt that I made a video questioning what his real motivation was to speak on YouTube. Was it really about the truth? Or was it just because it was a way to make money? You know, Brian, every video is just packed with ads and buy this and buy that. He got so butthurt about that question. And you know, I saw what Owen did to Brian, to come back to these faces up here. I saw that Owen put out a video after his debate with Brian. And again, to me, if you guys aren't all up on this drama, Brian and Owen just had a debate. And in my mind, I'm biased on this subject because I agree with Brian on his sentiment about government. I think Owen just looked like a moron and Brian cleaned his clock. And Owen might know that that's the truth because what Owen came back and did is he looked into Brian's family and then he found out that Brian's daughter has an OnlyFans and she's like making money by posing nude on the internet. And then her day job is that she's a government employee because Brian's very against the government. And, you know, she works at a 911 dispatch center. And I thought, okay, I understand the point you're making that Brian's talking all this, but then his own family works for the government. I get that. But at the end of the day, you know, that happens. There's parents who give their children the best upbringing and all the best things, but then the children don't make those choices. They got persuaded by their parents or not parents, but culture and society and friends. I mean, I think almost everyone knows that you know, your parenting can only go so far. There's also the odds of, you know, mainstream society taking your child astray. It's happened to a lot of parents. There can be children that grow up in the worst household ever and become the greatest people because, for whatever reason, and it wasn't really the parent's credit. So again, to go after Brian and try to attack him because you dug that up on his daughter, you know, that's lame. I mean, that's just like when people are trying to attack me now because of what Sweet Lady does. Okay, that's only a recent thing. And, you know, that's not what I've said a million times before. The reason people know what Sweet Lady does is because I've talked openly about it. But I don't try to totally control my woman. And at the same time, I've said now what Sweet Lady does, in a way, like, I wish everyone did the profession like she does. Yeah, she became a pharmacist, which isn't what I would have chose for. But she's now the kind of pharmacist that when you go there, she's like, oh, can I give you a few tips about what you can do to not use this drug? I mean, I don't think there's any other pharmacist in the world doing that. She's like, you know, if you take these things out of your diet and do this, it'll help you drastically reduce this. You can do it without the drug. You know, people come in for that cooties, you know, jam, and she's like, you might want to do a little more research on that. You know, is it worth it based on the effectiveness versus the potential side effects? You know, so no, you know, and like I said, when Sweet Lady started pharmacy school, literally, I think she saved her mom's life. One of the first things she learned was that a lot of people die in the third world from being low in potassium. They just like freeze up and they can't move. And that literally happened to her mom like months into her starting school. And she got on the phone and she was talking to her sister in Burma. And she was saying, figure out how to get her a potassium shot. And they gave her a potassium shot and her mom came right back. So you can die. That state can go from frozen to death before long if you don't get that much needed potassium injection. And just simple things like that all throughout the world because, you know, like people in Burma, they don't have nutrients. They're eating rice every day. They're eating white rice every day. So, I mean, you only get so many nutrients. can fill up your belly, but you're missing all kinds of nutrients. So when that happened, I thought, well, maybe Sweet Lady was supposed to go to pharmacy school. You know, she was saying she's going to bring this knowledge back to her country and help people out. And then she learned. She started doing videos translating from Burmese or from English to Burmese and teaching about these things on YouTube. And what she noticed is like people were just leaving these nasty comments on her videos, attacking, talking about her appearance. She's like, I'm not doing this anymore. The world is nasty. I was like, yeah, I said, you should still keep doing it though. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting ridiculed by the world for trying to help people. That's how the world is, though, man. The world's just full of nasty, bitter, jealous haters. But that's not a reason to stop doing it if you got an important message. It's just like my loser troll. He put out a new video about how bad our conference... We just went 3-1 in the divisional round, 2-0 in the conference round. He's putting out videos about the week about how horrible we did. It's like, well, we went 5-1. Hit the majority of our prop bets. We hit the 10-1 player prop for Kittle in the divisional round. How you gonna put out videos saying that we did bad? I mean, just that's what trolls and losers do. Shouldn't stop you from doing what you need to do. Hey, by the way, screen recording troll, why don't you call in today? How are you going to put out videos saying we did so bad when we went 5-1? Tell me where we did not go 5-1. And the only game we missed on was taking a 6.5-point dog. That was a ballsy call, but thought it would have gone a little bit better than it did. Had only they converted on that 2-point conversion, they would have covered the spread. Exactly. I see you making that comment on Destiny. I mean, what guy goes by the name Destiny? That's a name for a stripper. Come on, man. Any work ever done on the original Whalers basement? Aston. I don't think I have looked into that. I didn't even know that happened. That's sad. Man, Bob Marley and the Wailers, all that good music, and they might have had to sacrifice the bassist. Metallica did that too on the big Jesuit anniversary, touring with Ozzy Osbourne. Hold up, let me look it up. It's not the topic, but I'm curious. $206?
Hey, Zach. How you doing?
Oh, it's the voice. What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, I had a quick question. Because I was looking at Russia Today. Russia Today's news mail, and they were talking about Germany's economy collapsing. And I guess inflation is happening up in Germany. Did you see anything about that?
I got to look into it. I wasn't aware.
Okay. Yeah, no. The reason why I'm asking is because I didn't know about that until earlier today when I started to look it up. There's like I guess it's like a big deal going on with that. So another question with Carl Weathers, right? So was he? So he died. He died at age 76, right?
Right.
What? Now he was a former football player. What team did he play on?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Okay. Raiders. Skull and Bones. Did you cover all that the other day?
I did. And again, dead at 76. Black History Month recognized in 76. The day he died, Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish was getting arrested in a 76 ritual. We just saw Killer Mike get arrested 76 days from his birthday. And again, the reason why Black History Month was recognized in 76 is because the word slave is 76, like Negro, like Rasta, like blues. Somebody just asked about this dead Rasta from Bob Marley and the Wailers. I misunderstood what they wrote. This man just died here in Black History Month as well. And I see what they did with him. He's dead 73 days after his birthday. Sacrificed 73. He's dead on the 34th day of the year in Black History Month, like Black is 34. Tennessee's 34, where they shamed Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish. But yeah, Carl Weathers, big ritual.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Another question. It's looking like the Kansas City Chiefs probably gonna win it all, just based off of what they're doing with this Taylor Swift shit, man. And it's really it's really strange, but I mean it's obvious what they're doing, but because it's like Taylor Swift just blew up out of nowhere. Seemed like she was just in the background or long forgotten, and I don't know, the last 2 years it seemed like she just picked up steam, and they just put her up in the in the 58th season of the NFL, and they're trying to build this little fake dynasty with Kansas City, I guess, now that Tom Brady's gone.
Yeah, they called him Baby Goat. So.
Oh, that's what they call him?
Yeah, they've been calling him Baby Goat since Tom was in the league.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want to say it was in Super Bowl 55 where they said we might see this guy in 10 Super Bowls at the end of the game. It's like, yeah, we very well might.
Shit, man. Yeah. Well, whenever you have what's the dude's name? From the Ravens, whose name? Lamar Jackson. I mean, this dude was intentionally throwing interceptions. Up to this point, it's getting really pretty obvious. It's more obvious than it's ever been before, where guys are just literally just throwing the game.
Yeah, look at University of Washington. Since you're in Seattle, look at the University of Washington quarterback. I mean, just comes out and just plays a game just god-awful in the championship. I mean, he didn't play like that all year for Washington. Just playing terrible, missing wide-open receivers, and just, no.
Oh, yeah, no, he was missing. Yeah, I was observing that game, and, yeah, he was just throwing the ball out of bounds to a guy in the backfield. I mean, I understand it's college, but shit, I mean, you would think someone that's been playing football long enough at that level, in college wouldn't be missing reads like that. Like, goddamn, huh? But yeah, that's all for the bread and circus, I guess. But there was something else I wanted to ask you. Did you see the article about what country was it? I don't know if it was China, but it was one of them talking about nuking America. I think it might have been North Korea.
I'm sure it was North Korea, yeah. That would be the propaganda. Yeah. North Korea is controlled by the CIA. For people to understand that, North Korea might as well be one of the states. So they just need that little boogeyman over there. We keep sending taxpayer dollars to Lockheed Martin and Boeing and whatnot. So.
Yeah, that country and Japan, definitely are pretty much states of the United, pretty much property of the United States and whatnot. So, that's pretty much all I had. Zach, man, keep up the good work and don't let these weirdos deter you from what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it. Look forward to the next time we meet in the streets of Seattle.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just let me know.
Yeah. Well, hey, anytime I show up, you show up. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Just take it easy.
All right. Take care. This morning I was talking about the parallel with Taylor Swift having the big day at the Grammys, and then the next day Toby Keith being dead because Taylor Swift equals 51, stomach cancer 51, dead on the 51 date numerology. I didn't realize that Toby Keith essentially launched the career of Taylor Swift. Isn't it just so obvious how this works? Oh, man, it's just painful. And then you got Brian going, I just can't wrap my mind around the Gematria thing. I just can't put it together. Like, you're not a dumb guy. You're not a dumb guy, Brian. You're pretending to be dumb. It's playing coy, but it's just not adding up. Here, let me see if there's more to this man. I just talked about what stood out to me about the death. And yeah, they are putting out the movie about Bob Marley, and then he's dead. How old would he be? 54? He would have turned 78 later this year, so he's 77. Hold on. Okay. I'm not really seeing anything with his name Gematria, but I'm getting the Black History roster thing like we talked about. And again, he's dead 73 days after his birthday. Sacrifice has that 73. Also that 62, like what they did with old Toby, which also equals 62. Ritual Sacrifice is also 73. And in the case of Toby, he's dead 154 days for his upcoming birthday. I kind of get annoyed with that movie they keep previewing for Bob Marley because I'm sure what won't be in the movie is how he was murdered. I'm sure they'll leave out that part. They'll probably tell the bullshit story about how he got some foot infection. I'm sure. He was out just playing football and he got a foot infection and died, because doesn't that happen to everybody who plays football? It's like the kind of stuff only happens to people in the world of celebrity, it seems. So. You think Taylor's 62 as well for Taylor Swift? Maybe it is. Let's see. Not quite. No. But Taylor Swift, 51. Stomach cancer, 51. Toby's dead on the 51 date numerology, day after the Grammys, where Taylor wins big. They said she got her 13th and 14th Grammys. Casey's 13 and 14, like the team her boyfriend plays for, and NFL's 13 and 14, so you can see how that works. Justin says, I look forward to the YouTube videos, but I want to support. Well, you just hit that like and share. Hey, if anybody wants to support, actually a great way to support the work is just buy my ebooks on my website, because I get the majority of that. And, maybe you already bought a copy. You can email a copy to your friends and family. And by the way, you only have to buy one copy for friends and family. Also, I'm going to do the annual Super Bowl broadcast for everybody on the dollar tier. And if you do sign up for the dollar tier on Patreon, it's actually the best way to get both my books right now. If you sign up for the dollar tier on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard, you can download both my ebooks. And then the dollar, if you just subscribe one time, it lasts a whole month. So you'll get everything on the dollar. Well, I don't do a whole lot on the dollar tier, to be perfectly honest. But the Super Bowl broadcast will be on there. We'll be breaking down the game in real time. Okay. All right, I got to wrap this up here pretty soon. I got to start making dinner over here. And again, shout out to the realist. The realist chipped in too. Asked about 17 and 77. We talked about what those numbers have to do with the nation's capital, the establishment of the country, the gematria of Mason and secret society. Will Mack chipped in a Big Ten and asked what we thought about Bill Cooper. Talked about how strange it was that he was born on May 6th and died on the day, leaving 56 days left in the year, in light of how relevant those numbers are to the Jesuits, as well as the Masons. And also, never forget on 9/11, the flights that hit targets were 1177 and 175, adding up to 263, the 56 prime. Bill Cooper killed shortly after the man who predicted 9/11 and how they'd blame it on bin Laden. Shout out to Open Up. He's at the gym and he can't call, but he said call into other people's shows and mention Gematria and Zach. I appreciate that, Open Up. I haven't heard from Sirius XM. I don't know if they're entertaining the idea of taking on the albino eagle, but I am here. And shout out to Rick James, always with the Gematria memberships, and also John Mendoza, always coming through with the dollars. John Mendoza making me feel like a stripper over here, but I appreciate it, John. Those dollars add up, so thank you. Bob Marley's cousin played in your hometown this weekend, huh? I didn't realize that Bob Marley's... Actually, never mind. If you turn on that Marley radio network, it's like, damn, this whole family's singing. The Bob Marley radio network, he's got 1 million family members singing, so actually I shouldn't be surprised that his cousin's in your town. I don't know how to become a member. You can support the Patreon page. So, for all of you guys who say that you cannot get on Patreon anymore, which is a lot of you, I'm hearing that all the time from everybody, that they kicked you off and you can't get back on there. Again, I'm not going to add anything to the Subscribe Star page. I'll just keep it as a splash page for anyone who wants to download my books for free. By the way, that is the way to get my books for free. Subscribe Star, Zachary K. Hubbard. But on here, you can sign up the same way you do on Patreon. So, let's see. You click subscribe. I guess you got to set up an account, create account, and then yeah, you just make a pledge. So. I need to look into that platform and see if I have any. I'm sure some people over the years have done that, but I haven't really set up the monetization thing on there. I just made that page for a place for people to get the books. What's for dinner tonight? It might be a Lepetto night. We eat a lot of Lepetto over here, so it might just have to be another Lepetto night. For a while, we've just been eating nothing but soft stuff because sweet lady had some surgery, so she couldn't really chew anything. She's been getting her mouth corrected from not taking care of her teeth back in the Burmese days. Look out for May 14th this year, Israel's birthday. They're going to turn 76. God, this country was founded in 1776. Oh, it's Damian Marley who's coming to town. Yeah, he has that song with Nas. What's it called again? But Nas says on the song, he says, "Who made up words, who made up numbers, and what kind of spell is mankind under?" We need to get Nas on here. Nas, I want to know more about that verse. Not that song came out before I even knew what Gematria was. I've never heard Nas talk about Gematria, but it seemed like that verse had to do with it. Yeah, somebody in the chat earlier said, why don't you post on Facebook and other platforms? I'm actually streaming on Facebook and X and YouTube all right now at the same time. So, yeah, the song's called Patience. That's right. Yeah, the Nas and Damian Marley song is called Patience. That is correct. You were listening to it today. Small world. Okay. No, Nas hasn't passed. I don't know if my Bitcoin video is on anymore because it was many years ago and those channels have all been deleted. So the Bitcoin video is probably gone with the channels. People don't know. We're not GematriaEffectNews 25 because we like the number 25. That's how many channels have been deleted. I'm sure if RPM Trey wanted to collaborate with you, he would. So I can't. I can give him your number though. I can give him your number. I can do that. I just have to warn him though. I said if you call him, he might like start calling you like 50 times in a row because he does do that. He'll call like 50 straight times. But nights where like I'm just with sweet lady, we're just trying to have dinner. The phone just won't stop ringing. Its truth does not exist. He's got to get through. And then I finally pick up and I'm like, why do I need to hear this? You're like regurgitating back to me what you saw in my video today. You had to call me 50 times and tell me what I said? Come on, man. I do need to get back on TikTok. I forget what my original TikTok channel was, and I never figured out the password of the channel, and it just kept me from going back on there. Plus, I don't like TikTok. I don't like the platform because it's just like disingenuous. People send me links to things on TikTok. Tell me you guys don't have the same experience. You click on the link that somebody sends you, right? You click on the link that somebody sends you, and then TikTok opens up, and then it's like a video of like a teenage girl shaking her ass. And I'm like, I know this person didn't send me this video. And then so I close that, and then I go back and I click it, and then it takes me to the video that they meant for me to see. I'm like, what is this about? How come I'm clicking on the link of what they sent me, but it took me to some teenage girl shaking her ass? So I feel like I don't like that about that platform, and I don't know. It's also part of the reason I don't go on there. Like, this platform is also bad. What's with all these platforms? Why can't they just be honest? Can't I just click on, sweet lady's going to come in here. She's going to be like, what are you looking at? I'm like, shit, I was just trying to watch whatever Henry sent me. All right, we're going to leave it there. And hold on, before we wrap this up. Okay, we didn't accomplish what we were trying to accomplish the whole stream. Who should we try to get here to broach the subject? Owen Benjamin, Brian at High Impact Flicks. Now here's the deal. Mark Passio at What on Earth is Happening? Oh, excuse me. David Icke, Alex Jones. No more news. Well, no more news just said he won't debate me. He doesn't want the L. He doesn't want the L. An0maly. Apparently An0maly's a big fan. He just won't talk about it. Or is it Tim Pool? I mean, that if we can get on Tim Pool, he's. I feel like Tim Pool's actually got the most viewership out of all these people now. And like, how is that even possible? It's like, God. And for anybody who'd make fun of me for wearing a beanie inside, I don't wear my beanie all through the hot summer like Tim Pool does. I wear it in the cold winter, okay? It helps me keep the heat bill down. The way subs are down over here, we gotta save on the heat. The heat doesn't get turned up until Sweet Lady gets home. Who is it? What do we got in the chat? I really hate when people say Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. That's one of my pet peeves. Please don't say Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. It just makes me think you're a retard. Literally, I can't express it any other way. Bill Hicks was awesome. Bill Hicks was a lot taller than Alex Jones. When Bill Hicks was alive and Alex Jones was young, they looked like totally different people. But they both have the connection through Kevin, whatever his name is, in Austin, Texas. Who cares? He's in show business. Both these guys are in show business. I mean, just look at them when they were both alive and they were both doing their thing. They look nothing alike. Plus, I mean, what Bill Hicks, what's he do? He crouches down and somehow you don't see that he's crouched down each day as he portrays Alex Jones? I mean, come on. Bill Hicks' message was on point. He was funny. Alex Jones is a lunatic who's not funny at all. People laugh at Alex Jones for different reasons. But, yeah, not to mention, like, Bill Hicks, not only is he a lot taller than Alex Jones, he was, like, thin and slender back when they were both alive. Alex Jones is short and stocky, and he used to work out, so he actually looked pretty muscular back when he was younger. I mean, it's a joke to say that they're the same people. It's totally dumb. Like, I'm a lean guy. So, if somebody who else is around the earth who looks similar to me right now might be 4 inches shorter than me and 50 pounds stockier, and just because we look similar in the face, we'd be the same person? No. Not to mention Bill Hicks' voice sounds a million times different than Alex Jones, too. Alex Jones always seems like he just ate the cat litter right before he got on the air. The same people who promote that the Earth is a coaster are the same people who promote Alex Jones as Bill Hicks. You don't want to be one of these people. Coaster Earth people. Roseanne Barrs, yeah, she just had An0maly on. Roseanne Barr, we went in Roseanne Barr's chat. Actually, we were doing this one time. We went in Roseanne Barr's chat. Everyone was just spamming Roseanne Barr's chat that she needed to talk about Gematria. And she just said, would you people go away or something like that? Would you people get out? This isn't... It's like, okay. It's not working. An0maly will not debate me. An0maly won't even bring me on because he says I'm too arrogant. It's like, I'm too arrogant. Have you watched yourself? God. If you guys don't watch An0maly, he's always talking about how handsome he is and how funny he is. He's like, I'm so handsome, I'm so funny. It's like, okay, who says that? God, make me laugh then. Make me laugh if you're so funny. You know what? You know the only time I laughed at An0maly? When he uploaded a video of himself playing basketball against a short, fat guy. I was like, is this supposed to be impressive? God, where did you... Oh my God. If you have not seen An0maly's video of him playing basketball, it is pretty funny. He reminds you of the professional basketball league before black men were allowed on the court and they wore really short shorts and they hadn't learned any moves yet. Everybody moved like, I don't know, stiff and in slow motion. Like, I don't know where An0maly grew up, but it must have been I don't even want to talk about it. It was pretty funny, though, watching him play basketball. He's like, look at me beat this short, fat guy one-on-one. It was like, God, these are probably two of the worst basketball players in all of Los Angeles. He is very arrogant. He had the nerve to say I was arrogant. Icke and Alex Jones are beefing? Is that right? I'm sure it's just to bring more notoriety to both their names. All right, I can't find a clear vote on who we should talk to first. None of them. I just get, I get so annoyed that there's this circle jerk of individuals who constantly interview each other and talk to each other and ridicule each other. And then we just nobody will they'll only make fun of my work without mentioning my name. I get so annoyed with that. Bring me on. Let's have the debate. 765.
Yeah, hey Zach, this is Chris Lucas. I was on your show a couple of weeks around New Year's, I think. I mentioned Eric77 to you. Anyway, I just want to say I don't know why you even bother trying to get on these other shows, because I think most of them are shills. Because like a guy like Tim Pool, I remember when they did that Project Veritas video, and he had that guy that was all blacked out, and he had his voice distorted, and he's like, oh, and he's like supposed to be like an employee with Google, right? And they go, oh yeah, the government's trying to go after people like Steven Crowder and Tim Pool. And at that point, I knew Project Veritas is controlled opposition. Tim Pool's probably controlled opposition. Steve Crowder is. So I think all these guys, man, are just like controlled opposition. There's absolutely no point in even wasting your time going after them, because they're just there just to kind of, I guess, just kind of keep people stimulated and busy and thinking that this is like legit and thinking that Trump's an answer and all that kind of garbage. So I think what you probably need to do, and I know you kind of pushed back against this idea in the past, but honestly, man, I think if you got the right personality and you got the critical thinking that we don't get to hear on a lot of these other shows, and because everyone's so controlled and such a shill, and they just won't wake up about the Vatican and Jesuit control of things, they'll never bring this up. And it's not even like your show has to keep bringing it up yourself. But if you would I think if you had a show, it wasn't based on Gematria. You just fucking interviewed people, all these really interesting people, like someone like Ralph Epperson, who wrote the book The Unseen Hand, that talks about all this control going on behind the scenes in the government, and just, various people like that. And I think if you just constantly had maybe, a weekly show, or maybe, 2 shows like this a week, where you just interview people like this and you just discuss a topic like this, like maybe people, who wrote books on 9/11, I can't even think of that one girl's name, that Julie something's name. But I think if you just interviewed different people every week, and you just kind of like didn't have a show based on Gematria, it was just like someone that's cool and has critical thinking and actually knows what's going on. Because I feel like a lot of these people, yes, there are people that do these interview shows, but I don't think they know what's going on, or else they don't want to reveal what's going on. Maybe they do know what's going on, but they just don't want to reveal it. And I know in the past, when I tried to get some of these shows to promote my show 10 years ago, they didn't want to do it because they're like, well, Chris, that kind of stuff, I'm afraid of a Catholic boycott. I'm glad you do it. I support you doing it, but, I don't want to take the hit. So you also got people like that actually do know what's going on, but they don't want the Catholic boycott because, let's face it, the Catholic Church, if they get upset, you say something about the Catholic, what sponsor wants to risk a Catholic boycott or making a Catholic upset? So, so that's why I wonder if you just kind of did like your own sort of like Joe Rogan thing, and you stuck to it, because a lot of people also don't even have the extra time to do it. So some people are intelligent enough to do it, but like they don't have the extra time to do it. You seem like you got some extra time to do it. It seems like you would be great at doing it, and then you wouldn't even need these other people, because I think if you just stuck at it for about a year, I think you could have 1 million followers, and I think you would have at least be able to bring in another couple of extra $100,000.
Well, I like the optimism. To answer your original question about getting on these people's show, they all have big audiences, so it's about reaching the audience, not whether they're a shill or not. Again, I'm just making the point that they're all aware of what I do, but then none of them will ever recognize my name or the work other than making fun of it. You must have missed the beginning of the stream where I showed how Owen and Brian just had a debate, and it had to begin with a Gematria joke. And I just thought, that's interesting.
Oh, okay. Now that makes a lot more sense. Why you were kind of focused on them. Okay. Yeah. Everyone should be spamming him then, or not spamming him, but flooding him with messages and saying, hey, why don't you have that cover? We heard you mention Gematria. Sounds like you might be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call and the optimism and the ideas. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, man. No problem, man. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too. You too. I do need to get off here. Somebody said, what's the call in? So if you were that person and you wanted to call in real quick, let's make it quick because I gotta get the dinner rolling. So 859.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
I got a question for you. My dad died on Halloween, and then 4 days later, my uncle became the mayor of Aurora, Indiana. So I was wanting you to do a little decode on that for me. My dad's, do you need me to have his full name or what?
What can you spell the name of the town in Indiana? And first of all, I'm also sorry about your father.
Oh, thank you. Well, he was in bad shape anyway. So, but it did happen, and then my uncle became the mayor of Aurora, Indiana.
Aurora, like where the theater shooting happened in Colorado? Aurora?
Yeah, Aurora.
Okay.
Aurora, Indiana.
Okay, Aurora, Indiana. So your father passed last Halloween, and the election was November 4th.
No, yeah, this Halloween. This last Halloween. The election was November 4th. My father was born on May 20th of 1939, and my uncle was born. Get this one, 5666.
All right, hold on. Give me the dates one more time for your father and your uncle.
All right, my father was May 20th.
May 20th?
1939. Yeah, when he was born.
1939.
May 20th. And my uncle was born on May 6th, 1966.
Geez, a lot younger. 27 years apart?
Oh, yeah, that runs in my family.
Wow.
I have two daughters that are 30 years apart. My dad had two sons that were 20. I have two daughters that are 20 years apart. My dad had two sons that are 30 years apart, and my grandpa had 21 kids. So that's why I'm looking to see if any of my aunts and uncles start falling off.
Huh.
Because they're all still alive.
I see. Well.
But the thing that got me was my uncle's birthday, 5/6, that number.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are some things that stand out that are interesting. Like your father died on the 179th day, your uncle's age, which is the 41st prime, and Halloween equals 41. Like it's on October 31st. 10 plus 31 is 41, and there's a lot to that 41 number, but I'd have to look more at it. I always it is suspicious that you said your father wasn't doing well. I'm just trying to think, how old was he?
He wasn't. He was had dementia and Alzheimer's, and he's been in a home for like the last 7 years.
Your father was 84, and he died on 84 date numerology. It's interesting, the whole 4184, like United States of America is 84 and USA is 41. Jesuits 84. The Jesuit suppression lasted 41 years. Do you know if they're involved in Freemasonry?
No, I don't think so. I don't know at all. I know my dad wasn't. I don't know about my uncle.
Well, I'll say this. I hope it was just a coincidence, but I'd have to look more at it. So, here, I'll screenshot your phone number. I'll look more at it. I just took a screenshot of your phone number. I'll look more at it, and if I see anything else, I'll send you a message.
Okay, will you be calling from the number that I called? Because that way I'll have it, because my phone automatic goes to voicemail.
It would probably come from a 206 number, actually, if I send you an outgoing message.
Oh, okay, sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah, take care.
And my name's Tobin Schwing.
All right, good talking to you. You take care. All right, I don't know if he was the guy in the chat, but that's too bad. Also not exactly on topic, but 772.
Hey Zach, what's up? I'm gonna be really quick since you gotta get off. I was live today on my channel, Pounding Pavement again, and I just wanted to get it out there that more people got to do it. You can get a megaphone for like $20. Just write down and get out there and start teaching people what people have to know, because we're at like a junction that we know what's coming. I don't know if you've been getting like a bunch of calls from me, because I haven't since like May of last year.
No, it's true. It's true. You have not been calling like you used to, but back in the day, you would call 50 straight times, and you would do it a lot.
Yeah, well, I broke that habit thanks to you. So
Okay. But I will pass your number on to Trey if you guys want to collaborate.
Yeah, we wanted to collaborate, but for some reason emails aren't working. I'm sending emails to people and they just don't go through. And when I YouTube like just deletes my comment like immediately. So I haven't been able to like give them my number.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
I wanted to give people a little tip. So if a lot of you guys want to like be armed and have guns and stuff, and a lot of people I know here also smoke weed. But if you buy a gun, the form that you sign, it asks you if you smoke weed, and if you lie on it and say that you don't, when you buy a gun, then that's like a federal crime. But there's a loophole. If you make your own gun, like if you 3D print one, which if anybody wants to know, they can ask me how to do. Message me over to Find Truth if people want to know how to do that. But if you 3D print your own gun, then you don't have to worry about that. And you don't like sign paperwork, or you don't even have to serialize it, depending on what state you're in. But a lot of states they don't care what you do. I don't know if in your state it's okay, but like you can. A lot of people can 3D print submachine guns, and the how far along 3D printing has. And like now anybody can do it, and you really don't need to know much about technology to do it. It's basically just plug and play. But yeah, I just wanted to give people that tip. So if people want to get armed, they can do that, and it's really cheap. A 3D printer, I bought one, the Soval SV06. It's only $200, and filament only costs $20. And you can build a whole gun, like a submachine gun, for like $300. You can print your own magazine, 30-round magazines, for like $10 or $5 each, and yeah, that's basically what I wanted to get out there. And the submachine guns that you can print are semi-automatic too, so they're like really fast and really good. Like the UMP 11-9 is one that I really like that I'm gonna make, and I just wanted to get that out there.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, enjoy the little pet.
Yeah. All right, take care.
All right, take care, Bucky.
It's funny. I like that. He looked it up online. That is how it's spelled everywhere. If you look up how it's spelled online, it does look like it's Lepet. Sweet Lady calls it Lepeto. I assume she knows best since she's actually from Burma. But yeah, again, that's how we got on this topic. I'll go back and replay it.
It's a shame so many women.
Oh, hold on. We got to give Brian some ad revenue first. 1 second.
New self-defense.
More ad revenue. Hold on.
Banned.
More ad revenue for Brian.
Still says waiting for stream.
Here,
I don't know if I've
let me
got
skip
to
ahead about
refresh
20
this.
some seconds. Here we
Just
go.
give me a 5x5 if you can see us visually and you can hear us audio. Just put a 5x5 in the room. I really appreciate everybody being here. There's already 334 people watching.
Oh, 333. That's hilarious.
333.
Dude, have you noticed like Gematria does actually pop out a lot? Have you been noticing any of that, or is that just me being a little weird?
Honestly, I don't keep up with it. It's confusing to me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a simpleton.
Yeah, no, totally. It doesn't matter. It doesn't like say anything directly, so I just kind of ignore it. But like I had friends over yesterday and we're playing cards, and I literally had a pair of 9s and a pair of 11s, and I just started laughing. I mean, do you think that holds substantial meaning? I'm not sure. I have no idea, man. I really don't. It's like, did you see that back and forth between me and Bryson Gray on Twitter?
Somebody sent me a Spaces. Was there something beyond the Spaces that you guys had, which was like 30 minutes?
It was so funny. So he does some post, I don't know, about like, he's like, yo, I'm from a family or whatever. And I don't know why. I just felt the need to be like, but have you ever stolen a bike? And I don't do that. Like, if you look at my Twitter, I have thousands of tweets. I do the bike thief joke a lot, but I don't just like randomly write that to black dudes, And so we start going back and forth. And then the next day I'm live streaming and he starts acting extra nutty. Like he's like trolling the chat and all this. Cause I'm wearing a shirt that says, never forget. And it's my bike. And it says May 24th, 1991. And because that's when my bike actually was stolen. It's like a long running gag. And one of my friends who actually happens to be black made me that shirt. And so he's going nuts. And then so I'm matching his animosity. We do a live. And halfway through, I realize why he's so offended. Like he's going so nuts. He's like, yo, why'd you have to wear that shirt with my birthday on it? And I'm like, wait, your birthday's May 24th? I'm like, my birthday's May 24th. I'm like, what year were you born? He goes, 1991. I go, bro, your birthday was the day my bike was stolen. He thought I made the shirt just to mess with him. And then we start dying laughing. And then like all the tension was just over and we just immediately became friends. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Well, what's even just to add another layer of hilarity to this, my youngest brother's birthday is on May 24th. So I thought that was all just a gas, man. It was hilarious.
Hilarious. All right, hold on. 732, you're the last call. What's up?
Yeah, I think you should make a minute 44 video about this little exchange between these two, and the stolen bicycle equals 144, and Brian Young equals 144, and May 24th is the 144th day of the year, and then see if they respond to it. Because, Owen Benjamin puts it out. I've been seeing Gematria, and now his stolen bicycle story is a little decode,
Yeah, it is very suspect. It is very suspect. So, and also, what else is suspect about that story is Owen saying he has any black friends. I highly doubt Owen has a single black friend in light of how he just loves to call black people the N-word. And I'm actually amazed that he even referenced them without calling them the N-word. So, anyway.
But, like, the fact that stolen bicycle equals 144, and that's his big story, he's got a shirt about it, and it's this big joke about it that he jokes about all the time. Like, that stolen bicycle thing, he said it over 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, this is something, dude. It's either something that will amaze him, and if he's, like, honestly not one of these cult members, it's like, wow, this is really crazy that my bike got stolen, and it's the 144th day of the year, and that equals 144 in Gematria. Like, there's no honest person is going to not be impressed or, captivated by that.
Yeah, and again, he comes from the establishment. He's got some credits in Hollywood there, does Owen Benjamin. So
Yep. So, it's right there for you just to make a little quick video, and that's what we'll share on all these different YouTube channels or in these different Twitter things. These different, people on Twitter and stuff. Like, hey, these guys are joking about Gematria. This guy's got a shirt about his stolen bicycle, and look at stolen bicycle and look at the day that it's about, and look at the connection. Like, you guys not see something to this? But then again, we're dealing with mind control slaves, so it's probably not enough still.
Yeah. Owen Benjamin's Hollywood movies: The House Bunny, Gay Town, and Jack and Jill. Okay. All right. Well, appreciate the idea. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, make it 144 too.
That's the hard part to do. I'll try.
Yeah, all right.
All right, appreciate it. Okay. But yeah, somebody just tipped me off today that they had a debate, and they told me, they said, just watch the beginning of the debate, you'll see. So I had to see, and I thought, how weird that both these guys have both gone out of their way in the past to make fun of my work, and now they start their debate. I mean, it's not even about what they're talking about. Oh, boy. I think some people are right. The real reason these people don't have me on their programs is they know that I'll steal not all, because some people are just too dumb to get it, but I'd steal a lot of their viewership. They'd be like, wait a minute, why am I wasting my time listening to this guy? Hold on, I need to be over here. Did you just hear what Owen Benjamin said? He's like, yeah, it doesn't really reveal anything. Oh, yeah, it doesn't reveal anything. Playing the piano and calling black guys the N-word, that's what's the enlightenment. For real, I don't know Owen Benjamin, that's what he does. And then Brian, his thing is just this. What Brian says isn't wrong. Mostly everything Brian says I agree with. But he just, every video is the same thing. He's like, oh, look, here's this viral topic. Now let me say my 5 repeated lines that I say in every video. Here, I'm going to say the same 5 things again. Morons like, well, every video you do is Gematria. Yeah, but it's different every time, right? It's showing what the latest ritual is. Like why they did Toby Keith like how they did today, and why they did Killer Mike, the other day. And you know what I mean? Whoa, Jehovah's Thickness, didn't you just do this recently, a huge super chat? Jehovah's Thickness, you are just too generous over there. I was just about to get off 10 minutes ago and make dinner. Now I can afford to make dinner. I can tell Sweet Lady we made some money today. Thank you, Jehovah's Thickness. They said, here's some ad revenue. Check out Inner Circle Trader. His theory is the market runs on an algorithm that is hunting the orders of the retail trading ideology. So I'm going to have to go back to college. Certain signatures in the charts made in certain time periods will be revisited at the perfect time frame. And again, this Gematria does pertain to the market, and no doubt there's patterns in the market. Last year, if you were in our group that briefly lasted, I said, I bet Apple does real well this year for 2023, and it sure did. And, part of the thing was that Apple equals 23, and Apple still hasn't come out with that technology that they supposedly got on the back burner. One of these now the iWatch is banned. I don't know what's all going on with that, but one of the versions of the iWatch is supposed to come out. It's supposed to read your blood sugar level without having to poke needles in your body, and with all the diabetics in the world, if that technology comes out, that's going to be... It's going to be one of those skyrocket things. So, but thank you, Jehovah's Thickness and Inner Circle Trader. Let's check it out real quick. Inner Circle Trader. The Inner Circle Trader, I'm guessing that's the guy. The Inner Circle Trader. I'm going to guess this is the channel. Jehovah's Thickness, without a super chat, can you confirm if this is the right channel? The Inner Circle Trader, he's got 1 million subs. He's getting pretty big views. That's probably him. The same things are happening every day at certain times. Interesting. Okay. For people who've never seen the movie Pi, again, there's a scene where Gematria is introduced. It's about a guy trying to figure out the patterns in the market. So Hollywood's been laying down the clues. That movie, though, ends in tragedy. It makes it seem like if you chase these things, you'll kill yourself. And that's the stereotype. That's what Hollywood does. They give you the truth, but then deter you anyhow. Somebody comes out and says, he's a scam artist. Well, I don't know because I haven't watched, but the ideas that he's promoting might not be mistaken. You know, they might just need to be perfected. Thank you again, Rest in Gematria. All right. Well, if anybody wants to go out and if you're on social media and you want to send these people a message, you know, you just never know. That somebody might write the message in just the right way that makes these people go, all right, fine, I'll have the conversation. I'll have the debate. Brian watches my... I know Brian's been using the word lemming a lot. Brian, don't even lie that you didn't pick up on that lemming word from me. I know you've been watching, Brian. But, yeah, I mean, Brian's big excuse that he would not have me on was that I use ad hominems. He loves to say that. That person uses ad hominems. It's like, God. Can you stop with that? It's so annoying. Learn some new words. But yeah, again, we know that that's not a valid argument anymore because, again, you just debated Owen after he went on a tirade and called you 5,000 different names that were a lot meaner than anything I ever said to you. So, all right, True Seeker, that's all. And again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to the very generous super chatters. And thank you, Jehovah's Thickness, for just going above and beyond. So, like I said last time, you don't ever have to leave a super chat. That's a lifetime donation right there. So, all right, you guys, have a great rest of your day, your evening. Eat something healthy if you haven't eaten already. Get some rest. Take care of yourself. And until next time.